Comic Timing is member supported by listeners like you over at patreon.com/comic timing. We thank you very much for your continued support of the show in any way that you could give it. For as little as $1 a month, you can get access to some behind the scenes articles by Raph and Chris Naudis. You can also get some behind the scenes audio, occasional behind the scenes video, and some other goodies that we throw your way there. Once again, thank you very much for your continued support over at patreon.com/comic timing. If you want to give a one-time donation, that is also available at paypal.me/IAM sci-fi. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And why not? Thank you. Hey there, folks. My name's Ian Levitstein, and welcome to episode 256 of Comic Timing. Right by the skin of our teeth, we are just barely getting you a previews episode out, and joining me for this sojourn, the one, the only, the TGI, it's not school year himself, Mr. Chris Eberle. Welcome back to the show, my friend.
Levy Poo, it's good to be home. To pull the curtain back for the listeners, when Murd is not available, I will pinch hit any and all previews episodes.
Absolutely. So, yep. And
I cannot fill his encyclopedic shoes, but I will do my best.
Mr. Murdo and the barn in general are currently recovering from crud, and they are indisposed, to say the least, while that is occurring. So quick healing to Adam, and hopefully you'll be hearing him next week as Gold Team has their thoughts and opinions on Fantastic Four, and we'll also probably get some opinions on that Superman movie that came out not too long ago.
Raring to go with that. Raring to go.
For that. So looking forward to it. Very different previews episode. I know the past couple of months, I feel like I'm repeating myself by saying things like that, but the Diamond catalog is no longer physical. There's only a digital version available of that. I am skipping that entirely this month, as we are still in a very much influx situation with Diamond itself. They are liquidating their assets and liquidating their stock, trying to sell off books that they have remaining. And in the process, a whole bunch of the companies that used to work with them are suing their asses for it because they're trying to make money off of books that they technically don't really own the rights to do that with. Obviously, these companies want to get at least a little bit of the pot out of that situation. So we're going to skip them this month. We do have plenty of individual catalogs that we're going to go ahead and discuss on this very episode here, and we'll also delve into the Lunar catalog when it is time to do so. Just a couple of books here and there, and a couple of the options. But Lunar has most of the big players that are not currently Penguin Random House. And then Diamond, whoever's left with Diamond is dealing with them. Dynamite, it was like the one big player that was still with Diamond, and they're pulling out of the Diamond catalog as well. There's also a weird new catalog that I'm not going to touch on this month called Fuse that I found where I usually get my digital catalogs, and they have players like Antarctic Press, Devil's Due, Edge Comics, Zenoscope, and Zion Studios. Basically, a whole bunch of the smaller companies seem to have gone with the Filbo distribution method in order to get their books out there. So if you're looking for that, my source for all of the books that I reference is mmcomics.com. They have an excellent array of all the digital versions of the multiple catalogs that are available. So if you haven't found a resource to find literally all of the catalogs that you could possibly find that are not Diamond, that is a good place to go to flip through digitally, find what you want to do, and then wherever you buy your comics, you can go ahead and do it there. But strange times, my friends, strange times. But what else can you do other than soldier on as a comic book fan? And I think we're kind of used to that at this point in one way or the other. Aren't you glad you don't own a store anymore, Chris?
My friend, I was just thinking how, one of the constants of life, of course, is change, and how dramatically things have changed from when I closed in 2017.
Yep.
So, It's incredible.
It really is. Yeah. I mean, we kind of saw the. I mean, we all saw this implosion coming one way or the other. I just certainly hope that at least the new version of distribution, one way or the other, continues to allow existing shops to thrive in one way or the other. Because I don't think physical's dying anytime soon. It's just, new ways of distributing and new ways of getting your hands on comics, and whether you do it through companies like DCBS where you do it all online, or you go in person to your local shop, they just have to find new ways of getting their books, and they are. And I've heard positive things about people who have switched over to distribution from Lunar and some of the other companies. So they're picking up the slack more than anything else.
Well, since Lunar is DCB service, correct?
Yes, exactly.
And they love the medium. They've been doing a great job as a subscription service for years.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that they're picking up that mantle.
One of the weird things is that Universal Distribution is one of the other options. They actually signed a deal to co-distribute DC in the U.S. Universal Distribution is the Canadian company that purchased Diamond's gaming stock, essentially. So, like, the gaming arm of Diamond got purchased by Universal Distribution, and now Universal Distribution is also going to be distributing comics. So it's basically like Diamond, but not that sells the comics, and yet now they're selling comics. So it's weird, but I mean, look, that was kind of being covered at one point by Midtown's arm, and then that got shut down. So there's a way to get your DC comics no matter what. Whether or not Universal's going to pick up other clients along the way, I say, why the hell not? If the opportunity arises and it makes sense. So,
although, not to get too political, but if Canada if there's tariffs imposed on Canada that are being threatened by the dear leader, that could affect the price of books being distributed from that country. So we have to see how that plays out as well.
Well, I mean, not to mention that in general, a lot of comics do get published in Canada, like one way or the other. Like they get it's usually either China or Canada that's doing a lot of the bulk distribution, and actual production of books. Sure, there's U.S. arms, but those are a few and far between at this point. So,
well,
good
I love
times.
Canada.
Yes, so do I. I like that their money has holes, and it's a nice change of pace. I had a whole bunch of euros in my pocket not too long ago in my trip to Dublin. Got to visit a Forbidden Planet while I was there. That was around the corner from my hotel, which mostly just had U.S. comics. It wasn't really anything fancy, but still went to a comic shop. So go figure. All right. Anyway, let's get started. We're going to do mostly individual, catalogs, and you'll see them on my screen individually, as well, as it's just much easier for me to pull them up one by one than have them all up for the sake of my computer, because my computer is aging and I don't want it to die. So we will begin with Image and their catalog here. The Image catalog this month is the 9th edition of their catalog, since they started putting numbers on it. And this is scrolling differently than it normally does, but I will somehow survive. Because they doubled it up. So, all right, go figure. This month, we start off with a book here by Robert Kirkman himself, as he brings forth Skinbreaker, with art by the one and only David Finch and Annalisa Leone. When's the last time you saw David Finch do something that wasn't a cover? It has been a while. I don't know,
but this art looks gorgeous. And those interiors you just had up.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get to those interiors in just a little while as well. It says, for fans of Invincible Universe Battle Beast comics, your new favorite series. The dream team of Kirkman and Finch present a visionary action epic unlike anything you've ever seen. Enor has led his tribe for many seasons, but his time as chieftain is coming to an end. He wields the mighty Skinbreaker. Got to say that as loud as you possibly can. But at his age, he can barely lift it. Will Enor's reluctant heir, Anik, take over before their world falls to ruin? Skinbreaker tells the story of a people on the verge of collapse and their fight for survival, as the many threats they face close in for the kill. kind of sounds a little bit Conan to me, whether intended or not. It's definitely got that barbarian edge to it. And as you said, these preview pages are absolutely
they're stunning, absolutely stunning,
really, really pretty. So good to see David Finch back in the world of individual issues and not just covers. So do check that out on the first page of the Image catalog. We also have Artificial, issue 1 of 4 here by Maria Lovett and Jesus Orellana. Clara, a fashion stylish disillusioned with love, turns to a futuristic dating service that offers lifelike android partners. When her dream lover glitches into a possessive stalker, she finds herself trapped in a game of desire, control, and survival.
9.5 weeks meets the Terminator. That's quite... I never thought I'd say that sentence out loud. Wow.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. I'd even throw in a little bit of American Psycho while we're at it, and maybe do Android's Dream of Electric Sheep. But yeah, 4-issue mini here. This sounds like it could easily become a movie, just even with the premise.
Sure.
And I'm scared for our future. So, well done.
Considering, think about the possibilities of intimacy with AI. Who knows where that's going to go.
Yep.
So people becoming obsessed with AI companions, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that movie, what was it? Her, I think it was.
Her. Joaquin Phoenix. Yep. Yeah,
Joaquin Phoenix with the Scarlett Johansson voice is getting that much closer to actually being true. So, good job, people. But do check that out here on page 4 of the Image catalog.
I love when you get bleak within 10 minutes of recording. It's fantastic.
I mean, look, sometimes it just happens whether you want to or not. Yep, exactly. All right, moving forward here. Tate Brombal has a new mini series. This is a Eisner Award nominated creator of Barbalian and also their time on Batgirl, and Jacob Phillips of That Texas Blood and Newburn.
He was the son of Sean Phillips of Brubaker and Phillips.
Indeed. So. Yep. So getting your Phillips on one way or the other here, Chris. Well done.
I missed you.
I know. Haunting rural character piece set during a zombie outbreak, best described as The Walking Dead meets Essex County. Wow, indeed. The sole survivor of a zombie apocalypse, I highly doubt that that's actually the case, but in his rural farming community, rather than eliminate them, he's chosen to continue living alongside the undead, including the husband and adopted daughter he fought so hard to have. Very, very bleak setup here for a 5-issue.
The cover is gorgeous. It's a beautiful cover.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Very reminiscent of, and I know it's not, but I'm reminded of Arthur. What is it? Arthur Sudam, I think is his name. The Marvel Zombies covers from a while back.
Yep.
Very reminiscent of those, but it's almost like a romance novel cover meets zombies. Everything Dead and Dying, issue 1 of 5 here. Again, Tate Brombal and the one and only Jacob Phillips. So do check that one out if you have the opportunity. Love me some Latham. Yep. We got Stillwater for fans of Stillwater and That Texas Blood. The Emissary Bridge has always connected the citizens of Port Linden to hope and opportunity. But when one man shockingly sets himself on fire, the bridge now brings something else to town. Certain death. Good as dead. Yeah. Nice, hopeful comics. We're continuing with that. So
these are trying times, my friend.
Oh, my God. Look at the artwork on this, too. Really, really expressive artwork. Kind of reminiscent of The Boys in the art style a little bit. What Ennis and Co. were bringing to the table, and that expression wise and certainly color palette wise. So Good as Dead issue 1 here, available for you on page 8 with some following page solicit copy for you to check out as well. All right, let's scroll down a little bit more here. And pass ourselves down to a trade paperback of The Shadow Planet by Giovanni Barberi. This one looks interesting here. It's a horror sci-fi book. The crew of the rocket Vidar lands on a barren planet to rescue a lost patrol, but what they find can destroy mankind. Shadow Planet is a unique tale of retrofuturism, story of Lovecraftian horror in space, featuring the awesome art of renowned Italian artist Gianluca Pagliani. So, yeah, kind of aliens-y Lovecraft action going on here. Once again, hopeful, clearly. But you get the full story in one trade paperback, which I
and the art is fantastic.
Oh, gorgeous! Yeah, lush, colorful, well rendered and executed.
Well, I always enjoy some good space art. In fact, tomorrow night I'm going to the Princeton Theater. They're showing Alien for one night. I've never seen it on the big screen, so I'm excited for that.
Very nice. Is it 70 millimeter by any chance, or is it?
I'm not sure, actually.
Okay, got it.
Big screen, Alien, never seen it on the big screen. That's enough.
Oh, absolutely worth it. No question about it. Shadow Planet, once again, available for you here on page 14 of the Image catalog. Then for something completely different, we get ourselves some Viking Moon. Action, adventure, dragons, and mythical dark fantasy here. 5-issue mini by Joe Pruitt and Marcelo Frusin. Set in the year 1003, Leif Erikson himself established a Viking settlement in Vienland, present-day Newfoundland, a strange new world of plenty but populated by an indigenous people and something else. Something unnatural. 20 years after the original expedition ended in disaster, a new attempt to settle this wilderness is made. Ulf and his hardened tribe of Vikings soon discover that the whisper of creatures who are both human and beast are not primitive legend, but death-bringing reality. There might be a man-wolf.
Well, I love they're bringing in a little bit of they bring combining supernatural with a little bit of Viking history. The art is wonderful. Look at that! Look at that artwork.
Yeah, wow.
Beautiful, tremendous atmosphere. The combat, the werewolves. Look at the terror in that one character's eyes. Great stuff there. Yeah.
Good use of shadow and almost painterly in the execution. So
Marcelo Frusin is the artist. Yep.
Yep. He's worked on previously Kick-Ass: The New Girl, as well as Hellblazer and Loveless. And now he gets his chance at Vikings here and werewolves. So do check that out on page 16, issue 1 of a 5-issue miniseries. One shot by Kieran Gillen. And
art by Steve Lieber. Oh,
holy
fantastic.
Shit. Wow, that is fantastic. This was originally in Image with exclamation point, issues 7 through 9. So this is basically a collection of those stories in one shot. But again, art and writing team that is dare to be believed to be happening here. It starts with birds materializing. It'll end with the death of the heavens. Good times.
Cosmic horror you can dance to in a one-off apocalypse romance.
Yep.
All right, maybe there's a little tinge of hope there for you, honey.
Little bit, perhaps. So closer one shot here, Gillen and Lieber. And then on the very next page, again, they're going with a double page layout here for this digital copy here, so it's a little bit easier for me to get to that while at the same time trying to figure out what the actual page number is by scrolling down. But page 19, we actually get an issue 0 of Department of Truth, a long-running series. In order to celebrate the 5th anniversary, we get a issue 0, which basically gives us the origins of the Department of Truth. So we're getting a new day dawning as Lee Harvey Oswald and his ruthless new recruits are ready to do whatever it takes to make the agency great again. Don't miss this critical turning point in the Eisner-nominated series, Department of Truth, issue 0, brand new jumping on point here and a grounding point for the Department of Truth by James Tynion IV and Scott Snyder. Artwork by Martin Simmons and Joshua Hickson. Once again, available for you on page 19. They're also offering a bunch of the hardcovers of previous Department of Truth, so if you have not been caught up, you will have the opportunity to do so. We also get a Gray Lady one-shot by Mike Benson and Adam Glass with artwork by the one and only Ken Lashley. Yep. Occult and supernatural going on here. As a tragic accident on a snowy road leads Samantha Ellis, haunted by the loss of her son, Ben. Grief has unraveled her life, but when a mysterious psychic warns her that Ben is in danger, Sam's desperation transforms into fierce determination. Blend of the Sixth Sense and Ghost. The Gray Lady is a supernatural thriller that explores the unbreakable bond between a mother and child where hope, grief, and terror collide. Fascinating premise and concept here.
And it's always great to see Ken Lashley producing work.
Absolutely. So they're on page 20 of the Image catalog. As we bring ourselves further, a whole bunch of ongoings here. I will mention that Creepshow gets a volume 4, issue 1 of 5. This has been an anthology style, and it's going to have a story by the one and only Jeremy Adams, along with Rosie Knight in this Creepshow anthology. So issue 105 of volume 4 of Creepshow out of Image Comics.
I'm loving those slippers that the mascot's wearing.
Oh, absolutely. They look comfy. Page 23. All right. Moving on a little bit more here. A lot of ongoing stuff, but I will mention the 4th and final issue of Gehenna, Naked Aggression is out. So any of you who are waiting for that to be finished, you will have that available to you on the page on the other side of the screen here. Issue 11 of G.I. Joe and issue 320 of A Real American Hero by Larry Hama.
Again, anyone who's a Joe fan, this is a special period where there's great stuff being produced. Both those titles are superb. If you love the legendary Larry Hama run from Marvel, this is a continuation of that. They have great artists on it, and this is Larry Hama firing on all cylinders. Like, if you love those stories, you're going to come home. And the Joshua Williamson Energon G.I. Joe universe, which is a whole new universe, don't be turned off by that. It's excellent. Like, it really gets to the essence of the characters. The spirit is there. It's just a different take, but it's really entertaining. Highly recommend both.
I know there's been rumors going around that there may very well be an animated series to come set in this new Joe/Transformers universe.
I can see that, sure.
Yeah, if that were to happen, that'd be pretty cool. So
I'd watch it, absolutely.
Yep, no question about it. Page 28 for the Joes, page 29 for that Gehenna. And as we move on further, Ice Cream Man issue 47, if Murd was here, he'd be mentioning that. Add to Subtract, a story told through vintage medicinal ads.
That's so Murd.
Oh my God. Beautiful premise there. So issue 47 of Ice Cream Man available for you on page 33. On that same page, you get issue 6 of the Invincible Universe Battle Beast, which I'm waiting for trade on and cannot wait to read, as anything set in the Invincible Universe that is a new story makes me a happy man. And this is the end of the first story arc of this Battle Beast story. And Battle Beast himself is voiced by the one and only Michael Dorn on the animated series. So, also coming out with a fighting game based on Invincible that looks bloody as hell and has most of the voice actors reprising their role from the animated series as well.
Lazarus Fallen number 4. I want to reemphasize. This is one of the most important comic books of the 21st century, in my opinion.
Of course, yep.
Rucka and Lark. This is the final arc of that saga. And unfortunately, the world that Lazarus has foretold is, sadly, in my view, really coming true. So if you like your dystopian, if you haven't read this book, it's a dystopian future where countries essentially have ceased to exist in terms of any kind of real political power, and now all-powerful corporate families dominate the globe. I'll just leave you with that.
See, nice. But once again, some nice, happy, joyful fare for you all.
This is the highest level of comic book art as far as I'm concerned.
No question. I mean,
tremendous stuff.
I love Michael Lark to begin with, and he is made for this sort of storytelling, and it's Greg Rucka on the storytelling itself, so you can't beat that.
And Rucka, there's always essays he has in the back, and all I'll say is if you like the president, you probably won't enjoy reading them.
Page 34.
He's right on the money.
Yep, page 34 for that. Radiant Black is up to its 37th issue as Higgins and Clark continue their story going on there. Page 36. And the Rockefellers has reached issue 9 as Tomasi and Matapool continue to spin that yarn on page 37.
I picked up the first trade of Redcoat because I just saw it in the shop. I'm only a couple issues in, so I don't really have an opinion fully on it yet. I mean, the art is, it's Brian Hitch. The art is great.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting. I'll get back to that next time I'm on. I'm not, my verdict's out on it, so I can't give an opinion on it yet.
Fair enough. Yeah. Right. Moving forward, there is no saga. I repeat, there is no saga as we are in the X's. So just want to make that perfectly clear. But it will be coming back soon from what I am aware. So Transformers issue 24, end of the story arc here by Dan Warren Johnson. And I believe, did I hear correctly that Mr. Warren Johnson is leaving Transformers? I think I may have, because I'm trying to remember who I heard may very well be taking over the book. Because I know Dan Warren Johnson is going to be doing some stuff on, I think, Absolute Batman, if I remember correctly. So I'm not quite sure if he's leaving the actual Transformers book or not. But I will look that up and see whether or not I am right or wrong about that. Either way, issue 24, end of the story arc, Optimus Prime versus Megatron, and a new era of Transformers begins with the most shocking ending to any comic book this year. All right. Let's move that.
That's some rip snorting hyperbole right there.
Yes, indeed. That was on page 41. And I think that pretty much ends us on... Oh, you know what? They stuck the trades in the back, so let's just roll with that real quick here and go through a couple of things. Battle Pope gets its 25th anniversary deluxe hardcover. Kirkman and more on that on page 47. So if you like your Popes battling, then they have you covered. This is 456 pages for $50, and it's oversized in hardcover format. So nice and pretty for anybody who
is that Jesus picking his nose?
Yes, indeed it is, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Battle Pope, baby. Enough said. Assorted crisis events is something that Murd and I mentioned in the past. Denise Camp. This is a volume 1 of that. It's a sci-fi anthology series following normal people navigating an alternate world where time is having a crisis, and just stepping outside your door can send you on an unexpected adventure. So crisis level events happening to literally anybody. Denise Camp and Eric Zawadzki on this, and this collects the first 5 issues of Assorted Crisis.
Has Murd read any of these issues? Do you know?
I think he may have read the first one, if I remember correctly. I'll have to check with him on that.
I'd love to hear his opinion.
Yeah, we were definitely huzzahing this when it was first originally solicited. So first 5 issues of that in trade paperback form on page 46. We also get Exquisite Corpses by Tinian IV. First 3 issues of that on the next set of pages here. And then, of course, your man Brubaker, Friday.
So, and Marcus Martin Friday. So this is his young adult detective saga, and I'm actually reading the final arc now. But since they're all going to put, because they came out in 3 YA editions over a period of time, I'm going to get this because I really want to read the story in 1 or 2 sittings. I think it'll be even more gripping that way. But it's another example of how Brubaker can basically conquer any genre, and he does. And Martin's art is as majestic as ever. It's wonderful stuff. And
by the way,
you got a teen into reading, for example, and they might have a bent for like detective stories. give him this.
Nice. I did look it up. I was right. And Kirkman and Mora. That's the new team on Transformers.
Wow.
Yeah. Robert Kirkman and Dan Mora. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah. If you're going to replace Dan Warren Johnson with anybody, good choice. Good choice. That's going to be continued good comic books right there. But yeah, page 49 for Friday. And Tomasi's Hornsby and Halo gets a 6-issue first trade paperback for $14.99 on page 50 there. And that Rockefellers Volume 1, which I may very well be picking up, just to get the first 6 issues of Peter Tomasi and Francis Batapool's Fantastic Four-esque time travel romp, available on page 53. Once again,
and really important, the opposite is the first Monstrous Compendium.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This is a series I didn't stick with, and I think I'm going to get this because I raved about this on CGS years ago. I read the first. Oh, yeah. I was late to the part. I think I read the first 3 or 4 trades in quickly, and just blew me away. The sophistication of the story, the artwork. This is a great book, and I'm going to definitely pick this up so I can get back into it.
Yeah, I've long since fallen behind on Monsters as well. I may just go to my local library to get more of it, but I think it's also available on I think I may have mentioned this app to you, Chris, Comics Plus. And a bunch of Image stuff is available on there. I think Monstrous may be one of them. So another good way to catch up on it digitally if you so desire.
You know me, I'm still.
I know.
I'm still paper.
But if it's the wonderful price of free, then I am not going to pass it by.
Understood, especially in these times. Understood.
Indeed. And that's on pages 52 and 53 of the Image catalog. We're also getting Justin Jordan's Spread Compendium. This collects all 25 issues of Spread. A very good case for the creepiest apocalypse ever, the USA Today said in their quote of this one. So if you're in for creepy, here's 25 issues of it right here. Spread Compendium for you on page 55. Finishing things out, volume 11 of Ice Cream Man. If you want it collected, that'll collect issues 40 through 44. As well as one-page stories from people like Grant Morrison, Patton Oswalt, Matt Fraction, and Kelly Sue DeConnick in there for good measure on page 57 there. Can't go wrong with any of those creators ever. And Murd would also be mentioning the 8th and final volume of Copra, available from Mikel Fief. On that very same page, collects issues 46 through 49 and the epilogue, Copra 50. That is the 8th and final volume of Copra. Finishing stuff out, we will mention the Transformers Compendium Book 2, which I believe...
the Marvel years.
Yeah, Murd was also looking for this. This is collecting issues 47 through 80 of the Marvel years, as well as Transformers the movie in full, and Transformers Generation 2, issues 1 through 12, all in one package here. It's just a small 1,208 pages of comics. So, made for Shane, absolutely. So.
Well, I must say, though, because I got the first volume of the G.I. Joe compendium they did. Mm-hmm. But it's a soft cover, and the paper's light, so I think Shane would be okay with it. It's you can carry it around and read it.
All right, fair enough. I don't think he's going to do that, but either way, this is available on quite literally the last page of the Image catalog, page 60. And as I said, we're mostly going individual catalogs this time around rather than the mains. I will venture over to Lunar near the end of the show, but from there, we will head over to Titan, as we do tend to talk about Titan, and why not talk about it here? And I'll get into their catalog, which hopefully is only page by page, and I think it is. Good. Now I can scroll a lot easier. All right, starting off on and they didn't put page numbers, so thank you very much, Titan. I really do appreciate it. We'll call this page 6 of theirs, and page 7 here. Blade Runner Black Lotus Las Vegas, issue 1. Nancy Collins and Jesus Hervas bring a new series in the Blade Runner saga here, as Elle's quest takes her to the irradiated city of Las Vegas, which we later see in Blade Runner 2049, a sand-choked ghost town of forgotten memories following the detonation of a dirty bomb. There she finds a community of role-playing replicants, abandoned hospitality models from the old casinos now living in embodiments of ancient Egyptian and Roman royalty. Meanwhile, Neander Wallace, smarting from his last encounter with Elle, has dispatched a seasoned kill team to bring back her head. So this is continuing the earlier adventures of Blade Runner, and this was started in the anime series that came out. This is Black Lotus Las Vegas, issue 1 of 4 here on page 7. Great artwork.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I do love the Blade Runner world. I never did watch that anime, so I may have to get my hands on that one way or the other. Further along, of course, you, sir, can go ahead and opine over Conan the Barbarian's Scourge of the Serpent, issue 104.
Well, again, I'm just a broken record here, but this is one of the best comic books being produced today. Mm-hmm. Jim Zub has been writing all the Conan stuff. They've got top-flight artists on every arc, and it just goes to the essence and the spirit of the character. You know, Robert E. Howard. If you love Conan, the comics, the pulp stories, the movies, any of it, you will love this book. It just goes right to the heart of what makes the character so compelling. Mm-hmm. And it's not, and like any good Conan story, it's not just a mindless, slaughter. There's a lot more going on there with the character, because he's not just a brute. There's a lot going on inside that character. Mm-hmm. I mean, he becomes a king eventually. It's magnificent sword and sorcery. It's mm-hmm. really top flight, and just the level of care and craftsmanship in this books. Some of the best stuff I've been reading the past couple of years. So again, Titans Conan is just top flight.
There's a Humble bundle going on right now that includes a whole bunch of this stuff that I'm very close to pulling the trigger on. So any of you who are looking to read it and want to get your hands on some DRM free PDF copies of this stuff, head over to the Humble store. I believe it is listed as, let me look here. Yes, I think it's there is a San Diego Comic-Con bundle that you can get. That has a whole bunch of different works in it. There we go. The IGN SDCC Massive Comics Bundle has that included in it, as well as a whole bunch of Godzilla stuff. So that would be worth checking out to get yourself a whole bunch of comics. I believe 38 comics are included. And there's definitely the volume 1 of Conan the Barbarian as part of that, as well as a whole bunch of Red Sonja, Lone Wolf and Cub, and the Sumerian, the unofficial Conan stuff that was being produced by another company that couldn't use the name Conan, which I did hear very positive things about that Sumerian stuff while it was coming out. They have I think all 4 volumes of that in this collection here, and that's all for $24. You're getting at least 36 different volumes of things, including George Takei's "They Call Us Enemy" in PDF as well. So, well worth checking out. They even have the Twilight Man, Rod Serling and the Birth of Television as part of this bundle. You'll be happy to know, Chris, I very recently purchased the Star Trek comics mega bundle from Humble as well. And that includes all the most recent Star Trek stuff, including all the stuff that you love, plus Lower Decks and a whole bunch of classic Star Trek comics thrown in there for good measure. So,
do they include the recent 5-year mission series?
Yes, they do.
That's superb. That's really good.
As well as Star Trek Nero, Star Trek Khan, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So,
wonderful. Oh, Levy Poo. You're just You're growing up, honey.
Where no man has gone before. And by the way, the new season of Strange New Worlds, so far so good. I've watched the first 2 episodes. I've
watched the first 2 as well. Yeah, I loved it.
Yep. All right, so that's available for you on page 14 there. And then further along, we also have the ongoing by Mr. Zub, issue 24.
If Zub's attached to it, read it. Mm-hmm. He's just got Conan down.
Yep. Fernando Dagnino on the artwork there on page 19 of the Titan catalog. And we're also getting some deluxe edition hardcovers here.
Oh, beautiful.
Conan the Barbarian Bound in Black Stone Deluxe Edition.
Ooh.
Yeah. This is only 4 issues, and it's huge. So if you want them as big as you could possibly get them, you're getting 4 issues for the price of $30.
Well, with the Roberto de la Torre art, if they're putting it in a like more of a gallery size presentation, that's going to be breathtaking stuff.
I'm sure. Yeah. Page 21 for that. All right. Oh, wow. Interesting Mike Mignola cover there of Savage Sword. Wow. Okay. Yep. These are the volume 1 through 3 slipcase edition as well on page 25. So if you want them all in one slipcase to put on your shelf, here's the first 3 volumes all in one package here. That's 352 pages for $50 if you want yourself a slipcase. We also get the Tower of the Elephant, Conan Illustrated.
This is one of Howard's original pulp stories.
Mm-hmm. So. Yep. Gloriously illustrated work is an adaptation of one of the most celebrated Conan stories by Robert E. Howard, with Valentine Sachet on the artwork chores. Available for you on September 3rd on page 27. And then some classic while we're at it. We're on King Conan, the original comics omnibus volume.
This is from the Marvel years, yep.
Mm-hmm, yep. You can tell because it has a corner box. Page 29 of that, we're on Don Krar and Alan Zelenetz on the writing, but artwork by luminaries like Mark Silvestri and Judith Hunt. Dave Simmons on some of the artwork. Oof.
Jeff Isherwood, a fine artist. I mean, again, Marvel had the Conan license. They were the first company to get the comic license in the early 70s. They wrote that for years.
Mm-hmm. Issues 20 to 35 of Conan the King, previously King Conan, on page 29. And then a whole bunch of T-shirts. It's like all Conan all the time here for them. But we also get Return to Skull Island issue 4 of 4. This spins out of the Netflix show, and this is the conclusion of that Kong miniseries that has been running here the past couple of months. Available for you on page 40. Alice Cott's Bloodborne gets the Death of Sleep Deluxe Edition. Another deluxe edition here collects the first 4 issues of that Bloodborne comic by Alice Cott and Piotr Kowalski. So 144 pages in deluxe format for $25, including some bonus material on page 42. And this I'm happy to see. I was a big fan of Disenchantment, and Titan was putting out the comics for it. This is a Matt Groening story that was being told on Netflix, and these are a whole bunch of side stories that were collected. Disenchantment Untold Tales collects volumes 1 through 3 of that in one slipcase. Available here on page 46 if you want some further adventures of Bean, Elfo, and the demon Lucy. Once again on page 46. If you haven't checked out the animated series, it's well worth it. It's a hidden gem for Matt Groening, as it didn't get nearly as much press as, say, Futurama or The Simpsons, but I really did enjoy it.
What is this? Caesar's Spy. Go back to
yes. Caesar's Spy by Jean-Pierre Picot and Max von Fafner. In Rome during the last days of the Republic, a warrior from Gaul with Gaul, thank you. Sorry, my brain goes Stargate. I know my brain goes Stargate whenever I see anything that looks like Gaul. With a terrible desire for revenge, links his destiny to Julius Caesar by becoming his spy.
Wow, this is right up my alley.
Absolutely, sir. Yep.
All right. I'm going to try
Burning
that.
vengeance at the heart of his story, one man will climb the pits of the Colosseum to satiate his wrath. Look how gorgeous this artwork is, too.
What's the name of the book again?
The name of the book is Caesar's Spy.
All right, we'll give that a try.
For fans of Zack Snyder's 300 on page 48. Robotech the Complete Macross Saga in slipcase edition here out of Titan as well on page 50. So any of you Macross fans, you'll get all your Robotech you can fit in a hat here on page 50. Doing a whole bunch of slipcases this month, it looks like. We also get ourselves the Michael Moorcock Library Elrich The Balance Lost, Volume 2 by Chris Robertson and Francesco Biagini on page 54. And the Michael Moorcock Library The Multiverse slipcase set by Michael Moorcock himself with artwork by someone we've never heard of, Walt Simonson. John Ridgway and Mark Reeve on that as well. This collects 2 volumes of Multiverse in one collection here on page 56, as well as including 2 art cards along with that. Back in print for the first time in quite some time, and my God, that artwork is splendid.
Yes, it is.
Always happy to see things that have not been in print go back into it after quite some time. Now this is interesting. Make way for the man. From the pages of Breathtaker, featuring a brand new bonus story, remastered and expanded collection here on pages 61, 62. So check that out if you're interested in the man.
This is interesting. So look at the life of Sergio Leone, the legendary director of spaghetti westerns with Clint Eastwood.
Indeed. Yep. By Amazing Amaziane. Somehow I don't think that's his real name. But,
Oh, let's not be jaded. Come on.
I mean, look, some people might actually be named Amazing in real life. Who knows? Who knows? This you're right. This is actually pretty cool. Getting a full like behind the scenes style story of his life. And Once Upon a Time in America, featuring De Niro mentioned there as well. So page 63 and 64 for that. We're also getting a Black Mirror-esque future shock satire called System Preference. A dark introspection on the future of the world of social media by Hugo Bienvenu. In the near future, society lives in a social media metaverse where data storage is at a premium and historic works of art are simply deleted to make space for holiday photos. Ah, great. Just the world we want to live in. Appalled by this way of life, an archivist risks everything by stealing and hiding culturally important artifacts inside the robot acting as the surrogate carrier of his unborn daughter. Wow. Huh. Very interesting premise here. From the director of Arco, which was launched at Cannes Film Festival, Hugo Bienvenu brings us this fascinating system preference story here on page 67. Good artwork to go along with it as well. And let's see, any manga here, as we may not actually get a quote-unquote manga section later on. We get volume 1 of Sanda by Paru Itagaki, from the creator of the best-selling manga series Beastars, which is also available on Netflix as an anime. Santa Claus himself gets reimagined in a futuristic world. In a near-future Japan, Christmas has faded into myth, and the birth rate has dropped so dramatically that children are now the most precious commodity. It sounds like Children of Men meet Santa Claus.
Yes, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, society has artificially extended adolescence to preserve their youth, and traditional holidays like Christmas are a mere legend of the past. The anime, released alongside the manga, offers fans a chance to experience this magical, mystery-filled journey in an exciting new way. Sanda Volume 1 by Paro Itagaki, available for you on page 70. Very interesting premise, and I may have to check out both the anime and the manga, as the manga artwork is really well, beautifully rendered here. Good stuff. And I think that will close us out of Titan. So let's head over quickly to IDW, and then I think we'll do DC and Marvel from there. All right. Here we are with IDW. Once again, everything gets its own catalog now. Everything does it. And IDW, I still hate your logo. All right, moving on. Is it ID? Is it LD? Is it W? No, it's IDW, and somehow that's what I have to continue to call it. So, all right, whatever. Casey Jones gets a series here. Alex Parknadel and Amanse Nahulapan bring us a Casey Jones series. He was shot by D.A. Hale. He's awake, and he has a second chance at life. Instead of taking things slow and smelling the flowers, he's jumping headfirst into action and hitting the streets and doing everything he can to protect the people of New York City. But those closest to him thinks he's pushing too hard. April and the Turtles, especially Casey's closest friend Raph, are concerned. Things are only going to get worse as a new straight-up mutagen starts changing the shape of New York City, and a brand new villain threatens everything Casey believes in. So Casey Jones ongoing for you folks here on page 2. Do check that out if you're interested. Also, the second issue of the new Shredder series is available here, written by the one and only Dan Waters on page 3.
Is the Shredder still the prime TMNT villain?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, there's tons of other villains around, but Shredder never goes anywhere. He's always about. Yep. Also happy that the Saturday Morning Adventures series has reached its 29th issue. We're almost at issue 30 here, written by the one and only Eric Burnham. They're on page 4. Now, I am a happy man. Ryan Drost pointed this out to me on the Facebook. I had literally mentioned a couple of times on this show that I feel like the only series that hadn't gotten its relaunch from the 90s was Street Sharks. And lo and behold, here we are, written by Stephanie Williams with artwork by Ariel Medel, a Street Sharks miniseries out of IDW on page 5 of this series. More than 20 years in between brings you extreme stories and a fantastic time. But don't call it a comeback. They've been waiting for everyone else to get ready for more jawsome adventures. Oh, the puns. Beautiful.
So no wonder you love this so much. Plus, it's part of your childhood, I would assume.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, the Street Sharks was one of those like underappreciated gems of the 90s. And the 4 Bolton brothers were happy playing sports and meeting babes, but when a run-in with a mad scientist turned them into giant sharks, they only got cooler. It was the Ninja Turtles with sharks, but who cares? It was a lot of fun, and to have a writer like Stephanie Williams behind this means it's going to be some good comic books. So.
Was this a cartoon?
This was, yeah. This was a cartoon. It aired primarily on, I believe, ABC in syndication. So any of you who had access to ABC's animated series block in the 90s, that's where Street Sharks would run. And I think it also aired occasionally on like UPN and a bunch of other places. And I think even on Cartoon Network for a while in syndication after it had aired. So yep, check it out. Very happy to have this happen. So page 5 for some Street Sharks. Get yourself some new Kelly and Lanzing Star Trek, why don't you?
I mean, if they're writing it, I'm reading it. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Star Trek: The Last Starship. The
Federation has fallen. Yep. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
No, go right ahead.
Hope is fading. One last starship remains to fight for the future unless a resurrected James T. Kirk dooms it first. That's enough. Kelly and Lanzing, Shatner. Yep. I'm reading it. That's it. And a cover by Francesco Francavilla, no less.
Yeah. Man, that James T. Kirk just never dies, man. Like he always finds a way to come back.
Keep missing the target. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, please. Page 6 for that. Yeah, I'm really down for this. That sounds like an awesome premise. And then we continue with Star Trek Red Shirts by Mr. Cantwell with Megan Levins on the artwork chores as well on page 7 there. These unsung heroes are finally getting their due. Still wish we'd actually gotten the novel Red Shirts converted into a TV.
I remember you talking about that novel.
I know, yeah. And that never wound up happening. But at least we get ourselves some Star Trek red shirts with actual red shirts. So, good times. Issue 11 of the Star Trek Lower Decks ongoing series here. Most books have been either 1 or 2 issues, and this one's going to feature my favorite space dolphins, so makes me a happy man. Tim Sheridan and Philip Murphy bring us the 11th issue of the Lower Decks comic on page 8. And also available, Star Trek Lower Decks Volume 1, Second Contact, collecting the first 6 issues of that on page 9 of the IDW catalog. We also get ourselves an omnibus of old school Star Trek Voyager comics. Yep. Just in time. I mean, I don't know if you realize this, Chris, but there's a new Star Trek Voyager series. It's probably on the next page here. That's basically a continuation of Voyager after the conclusion of the series.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So these are another version of that, essentially, because I'm sure these are continued stories, but these are older stories that are being collected here from Malachi Ward, Matt Sheehan, and of course our favorite Mr. J.K. Woodward included in there as well, and Malachi Ward also a friend of ours. So page 11 of that.
Well, J.K. does magnificent Star Trek work. When he did the Harlan Ellison version of "Sit on the Edge of Forever." His artwork is just magnificent in that.
Yep. Get ourselves the issue 5 of Kelly and Lanzing, volume 5 of Kelly and Lanzing's Star Trek here, When the Walls Fell. I'm sure we know what that means on page 13. Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra. Starship Godzilla gets an issue 1 here. I'm sure Raph is going to be checking this one out. A Kaisei era goes to space inside a brand new Mechagodzilla. You didn't think kaiju were only on Earth, did you? Well, this proves you wrong if you thought so. Page 15 here, very manga-esque Godzilla action by Chris Gooch. Love saying Gooch, and Oliver Ono on the artwork chores. Page 15 there. I guess that Voyager series is not actually mentioned this time around, but I do remember us mentioning that in the past, so try to track that down for you. Top Shelf brings us Hallowed Hauntings, a seasonal sampler from the one and only Top Shelf, just in time for spooky season on page 19. And let's see if there's any other Top Shelf worth mentioning. Here we are. Screwing Sinatra by P. Moss. Join the Rat Pack.
Look at that cover. Wow.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's definitely something else. Join the Rat Pack in this stylish crime thriller novel that showcases the glitz, glamour, and grime of Las Vegas's early years. The author who captures the atmosphere of Sin City's heyday like no other. Very fascinating here. And yeah,
it's 1960, and Frank Sinatra, the king of showbiz, is conspiring with Jack Kennedy and gangster Sam Giancana to steal the presidential election. Then, in a mind-blowing twist, Sinatra's perfect world comes crashing down on him as he's betrayed by JFK and finds himself in the crosshairs of a mob assassin.
Oh my God, this sounds fantastic. a fiction novel of fame, fury, and fabrication. It's not real. We're pointing out it's not real that we know of. It's not real. It could be, but they're going to say that it's fiction. So we'll roll with that. We'll roll with that. Page 24. And then for something completely different, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Rite of Spring, 6-issue return of the Eisner-nominated cozy horror smash hit. That's just promotion for it. That's on sale in July, but I gotta love that title, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. Look at this right here.
Yeah.
Wow. Dan Waters himself, Morgan Beam, an ongoing Twilight Zone series. It's an all-new anthology series featuring stories by some of the best creators in comics today.
And it's in black and white.
In black and white.
Yeah.
No other way to do Twilight Zone other than anthology. I'm super glad they're doing this. This just sounds great, honestly.
Did you watch the new version that Jordan...
Oh, Jordan Peele. Yeah, Jordan Peele. Yeah, I watched an episode or two of it. I never got a chance to watch more of it, but I like the style. I like the personality of it. Yeah, it didn't last nearly as long as people had hoped, but it did a good job while it was around. And this premise sounds interesting here for Waters and Beam. They're presenting a story called Blank, a terrified citizen. Oh, excuse me. Imagine, if you will. A terrified citizen regales a detective with a story about people suddenly frozen like statues. A once bustling metropolis becomes quieter by the minute as people are replaced by featureless versions of themselves. When one would have found hopes, laughter, tears, and struggles, one can now only find blanks here in the Twilight Zone.
I really missed you.
Thank you. Hey, was there any other way to read that? I mean, come on, please. Page 26, Twilight Zone, issue 1, an anthology series that we are all very happy to see exist. All right, checking here for some other highlights. Yes. A reminder, and you may not have known this either, Chris, Valiant is now under IDW.
Oh.
Yep. They basically Alien Books has teamed up with IDW.
Valiant, never down for long. They always find a home somewhere.
You better believe it. And for that matter, we get ourselves all new Harbinger by Fred Van Lente himself and Eric Tamayo. And a very familiar looking cover there. Certainly not quite going for a Justice League,
but it's definitely in that
vein. It's really close to it. Yeah. Yep. Designed as the ultimate jumping on point, the Valiant Beyond line of comics are absolute must-reads that will energize your love for superheroes. After the devastating fallout of the Harbinger Wars, humans and Psyots are able to live together without conflict, but that doesn't mean that things are safe. Enter Harbinger, a super team composed of uniquely powerful Psyots, including Archer himself, Flamingo, Alloy, and Crane, dedicated to protecting their city at any cost. Yeah, so putting a team together in a Harbinger style here on page 33. Interesting premise, and can't go wrong with Van Lente, and happy to see Valiant continuing. Get some of the character designs on. Yeah, excellent character designs. Yeah, good stuff. We're also getting a Exo Man of War relaunch by the wonderful Steve Orlando. Yep. Wow. And Guillermo Fajardo on the artwork chores go along with it. We all know Orlando's pedigree. Like they're getting some good creators behind this.
Yes, they are.
Mm-hmm. The mighty Arak of Dacia, a.k.a. Exo Man of War, traverses a deadly wasteland filled with mutated horrors in a search for honor in this can't-miss debut by Mr. Orlando himself on page 35 there. Great artwork to go along with it. All right, and that concludes IDW, and on we go to DC. And DC is going to make us happy this month. Here we are with the beginning of a brand new era. And yes, do not adjust your sets. Issue 1 of Batman. We're back at a brand spanking new volume.
All that matters is the writer.
Matt Fraction, baby.
In immediately.
And Jorge Jimenez on the artwork.
Yeah, that's a hell of a team.
Yeah. And what did he do, my friend? What did Jorge Jimenez do? What did he put Batman back in? He's in his blue and grays.
I see that.
Yep.
Murd will be very happy with that. So will Shane.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is a brand new era here for Batman, as the best superhero in comics is a brand new first issue to kick off his new era that will test Batman and Bruce Wayne like never before. I am in on this, and I look forward to seeing where we are going to wind up going. Look at that Silvestri variant. Yeah. Wow. Damn. plus variants.
This is very emblematic of how I'm reading comics now. I'm just when a certain writer's on a book, it doesn't matter who the character is, the arc, it just doesn't matter. I'm reading that book, so
fair enough.
The fact that it's Batman is just a bonus. I'm really excited about this,
and the actual designs themselves, like the. I'd say that the emblem that they're using is kind of a cross between Miller's Batman and just an old school flair. The original, I'd say like the original emblem of Batman was very similar to this as well. So yeah, but bringing it back home, and happy to see what's going to happen here. If you're going to have anybody else follow up Zdarsky, it may as well be Fraction. So good job, DC. So looking forward to what they have to bring to the table. Meanwhile, Gretchen Felker Martin brings us Out of Gotham, Not Out of Bullets, Red Hood #1, art by Jeff Spokes on page 6 here. And not only will it feature the Red Hood, but it looks like Huntress is going to be in on this action at start here. And it's Helena Bertinelli. So that Huntress, the Huntress that I grew up with. So that makes me happy to see her back around in one way or the other. Get ready for the Red Hood like you've always wanted to see him, is what the solicitation says here. Like that redesign on Red Hood's costume too. Page 6 there. Great artwork. Wow. Yep. Very expressive. We get to the 12th issue here of Absolute Batman. Snyder and Dragotta. Really liking what the Absolute line has been bringing us so far. There was also going to be a black and white work in progress version of issue 1 available for you. So if you want some black and white, artwork to really expose just how damn beautiful Dragotta's artwork is, that's available for you. And it's in an 11 by 17 format, by the way. So 49 issues in 11 by 17 for $14.99, available on page 9 there. Also, the 11th issue of Jason Aaron's Absolute Superman, which has been great, on page 10. And Absolute Wonder Woman by Kelly Thompson, which has also been great, on page 11. Everything about the Absolute line's working for me so far. It's really been some great stuff. I think you would especially like what's further down here. Green Lantern's great by Al Ewing. I mean, it's Al Ewing. Like, you can't go wrong. And for example, Hal Jordan is Black Hand in the Absolute universe.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so that enough of it is a different spin. But Joe Mullen's the main Green Lantern involved here. But you also get John Stewart in one form or another. Very different telling of of Green Lantern here on page 12. But Flash, you would really dig, as Lemire kind of like went for almost a Hulk origin for the Flash. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Wally was in the wrong place at the wrong time and got his powers, while Barry essentially was sacrificed in the process. And Wally's father is out to try to basically get him. And the Rogues are agents of the government organization that Wally's father runs. So again, very much along the lines of, Thunderbolt Ross hunting for Bruce Banner.
Gotcha.
So really, really nice take on the Flash so far that Lemire's been presenting. So good stuff. Excellent artwork by Travis Moore as well on page 13 there. But here we go.
Booster Gold, Dan Moore drawing. Superman 30. Wow.
Fugitive of the Dark Side Legion. Joshua Williamson, Dan Mora, Superman 30, page 14. In all the way on this. Got to catch myself up on this series, as I cannot wait to see where we are going with this Dark Side Legion. And then Philip Kennedy Johnson and Scott Godlewski bring us Adventures of Superman Book of L, #1. Very fascinating here. They're telling a story as the super family settles into a well-earned time of peace. A powerful ally turned enemy invades Earth with an army at his back and a god aspect of Olgrun, mad god of the first world. When even the super family lacks the power to stop him, Superman is sent against his will to a place he's never been, where he'll find allies he could never have expected. Concluding the events of Future State and Philip Kennedy Johnson's Action Comics, the next epic adventure begins here on page 15. So nice to see Philip Kennedy Johnson getting to finish the story that he started after he stepped away from Superman. So
he's a good writer.
Number one. Oh, excellent writer. Yep. And Dan Slott continuing his run on Superman here with Superman Unlimited number 5. Looks like he's about to visit the Wizard of Oz, but I know he's not. With excellent artwork by Raphael Albuquerque while we're at it. And then Mark Waid and Skylar Partridge continue their tour of Superman's past meet present in Action Comics 1090 as Superboy is firmly back in canon.
I'm looking forward to giving my thoughts on the Superman film with you next week, honey.
Can't wait. Also, apparently, Superman Prime is back kicking around in one form or another in the DC Comics, so that's an interesting thing as well. All the Super Pets in Super number 5. Yep.
By the way, I read... I'm sorry, go ahead, please.
No, please. I just said gotta love it. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I read the first issue of Crypto, The Last Dog of Krypton, which was wonderful. Mm-hmm. And boy, does Mike Norton draw a great dog.
Oh, absolutely. One of the best dog artists in comics, period. Yep.
But the first issue was a delight. I really enjoyed it.
Whether it's a pug or whether it's Crypto, he knows how to draw a dog, definitely. And Ryan North and Mike Norton continue that here with issue 4 as Crypto goes coast to coast. And apparently he's chasing some birds while he's at it. Available there on page 17.
I fell off Tom King's Wonder Woman. I don't know why, but I didn't keep reading it for whatever reason. I got to go back and get the trade because I remember really enjoying the first few issues that I read.
Well, it looks like this one.
I think he reads better in trade anyway in many cases.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I would agree with that entirely. And it looks like this one's going to involve the missing Etta Candy and fugitive Amazon Emily. So page 20, issue 25 of his Wonder Woman run. And on that same page there, we get the 4th issue of Trinity, daughter of Wonder Woman. So all that available there for you on page 18. Wade and Mora continue their Justice League Unlimited run here with issue 11. Something strange is happening on Earth, and the Justice League is powerless to stop it.
I should be getting out of the first trade of that series. Looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah. And for you, my friend, Cheetah and Cheshire rob the Justice League.
Look at that! Look at that creative team. Damn.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Greg Rucka, Nicholas Scott.
God.
Beautiful.
Yes.
This is the 2nd issue of that heist miniseries, continuing here on page 19. The biggest battles. Aga continues. I think I'm pretty sure it's the biggest battle saga, but because it's split up here, it really looks like the biggest battles Aga. But I don't think that's what they mean. Absolute Power, All In Special, Justice League Unlimited, We Are Yesterday, Legion of Darkseid. It's all on the calendar here, and it's starting this fall. So we are in for some treats. Justice League Red continuing. 2nd issue of that by Saladin Ahmed as we get ourselves a team with Cyborg. We get ourselves some Green Lantern in there, some Power Girl, and of course, Red Tornado himself. Justice League Red issue 2 on page 22. And of course, page 23.
That's a hell of a team too. God.
Mm-hmm. Tom Taylor, Mikhail Janin. Criminals are a superstitious and cowardly lot. Batman has long depended on this mantra to uphold justice in Gotham City. But what if Gotham was a city devoid of fear? Oy. Would this lead to a city free of inhibitions or a populace-driven suicidal by an inability to process mortal terror?
Gotham is pretty dark as it is, so that's a deeply alarming statement.
Oh, yeah. You'll be happy to know, my friend. I watched the whole of the Penguin series while
I haven't watched that yet. I've heard it's wonderful. How is it?
You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. Not only is it a great Batman universe story, but it is a pitch perfect crime saga.
All right, that's right up my alley. One season?
One season, yeah. One season, I think 8 episodes, if I remember correctly.
All right, I can do that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I watched it on the flight to Dublin and the flight back to Dublin. I finished the whole thing. So that's on page 23, by the way, Detective Comics 1101. We get issue 11 of the Batgirl series, the conclusion of the Three Swords by Tate Brombal and Takeshi Miyazawa. They're on page 24. A oversized issue celebrating the 25th anniversary and the 25th issue. I'm sorry, just 25th issue. I'm sorry, I misread it as anniversary. Just the 25th issue of Birds of Prey. They probably have been around for 25 years, go figure. But either way, Kelly Thompson, Cliff Richards, and Sammy Basri bring us this oversized 25th issue. I'm happy to see it's lasted this long because
that's a beautiful Annie Wu cover. It's so dynamic.
Wow. So good, so good. And clearly, we're getting the reveal of somebody on this cover, and I can't wait to see who it is. Quite frankly, I got to catch myself up on this series too. I've fallen behind a little bit, but I've loved what I've read so far. And Birds of Prey should always exist in the DC universe in one way or the other, and happy, very, very beyond happy that it's reached its 25th issue here on page 25. Also, if you had told me that a Poison Ivy series would have reached the 36th issue 36 issues ago, I wouldn't have believed it, but G. Willow Wilson continuing to knock it out of the park here with issue 36 of that, as a traitor is in the midst of Poison Ivy and her squad on page 26. Brand spanking new Robin costume for Batman and Robin issue 25, Philip Kennedy Johnson and Fico Ossio. I also saw that Mr. Fraction is going to be featuring Tim Drake as his Robin of choice.
Oh, Shane will love that.
Yep. Wow. So that makes me a happy camper.
Yep.
He'll be back in his red and black iteration of his costume, if I remember correctly. And the Doom Patrol guest star in Titans issue 27 by John Layman and Max Rayner on page 27. Titans 27 on 27. Go figure.
God. All right, here's one of the most important books being produced right now.
You better believe it.
Batman and Robin, year one. This is Wade and Somni. I mean, that's really all you really need to say. But if you love, the early Batman history and the beginnings with Robin, this is just a loving take on that, and the art is evocative, powerful. It's so in the style of that era of Batman. There's a noirish feel to it, but Robin brings this lightness to it because he's so young and enthusiastic, and they really play off the wonderful like Bruce Dick sort of father-son dynamic. This is great comics. I can't recommend this series enough.
Yeah, I've been kind of waiting for it to be wrapped up so I could read it all in one package, but it looks great.
Yeah, it's top of the craft.
I would 100% believe you, my friend. Yeah. So I'm there for it, and just like Murd is there for what else is on this page for sure. Batman Superman World's Finest issue 43, Mark Waid, Adrian Gutierrez. Bizarro World is perfectly fine. I mean, Bizarro World on the brink. So as Bizarro World continues to change and morph, Superman and Batman find themselves at war with one another. With the universe at stake, they have to decide on the question: are Bizarro beings with no life of their own, or are they worthy of salvation? The answer will surprise you. Page 28 for all of that.
I've been enjoying The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween. I've been reading that monthly. It's what they've done is it's moving because they've gotten all these artists who revere Tim Sale or knew him to some degree, depending on the person. But they all loved his artwork, and they're all paying tribute to him. Each issue has a different artist. Loeb is, of course, scripting. It's excellent. I'm really enjoying it. If you love The Long Halloween, that whole sort of corner of the Batman universe, you'll appreciate this story quite a bit.
And this is the 10th and final issue with artwork by Matteo Scalera to finish us out. Page 29 for that. Simon Spurrier's Flash is concluding here. Not sure who's taking over, but Bad Moon Rising reaches its conclusion with Vasco Georgiev on the artwork for it. With the Earth plunging into total darkness, all seems lost as Eclipso has turned the moon into an engine of despair. But Jay West and one of the Flash copies has a last-ditch plan in mind that involves the West family dog. It all comes down to this explosive final chapter of Bad Moon Rising. That sounds unhinged. So I have fallen behind on my Flash reading, and sounds like Simon Spurrier's been up to a lot, to say the least. But he finishes that out on page 31, and let's see who takes over the reins once he is all said and done. Starbreaker Supremacy crossover, Green Lantern Corps issue 8, a race against the Sun Eaters. Love that the Sun Eaters have been a major part of this Green Lantern Corps storyline going on here. This is part 4 of the Starbreaker Supremacy. Jeremy Adams and Morgan Hampton, art by Fernando Passarin and Auclair Albert on that 8th issue of Green Lantern Corps. And Maxwell Lord makes his move in New Gods. Not exactly the name that I expected to be associating with New Gods, so I can't wait to see what exactly Maxwell Lord is doing in this situation here. But Ram V with Pi Par and Evan Cagle available for you on page 32. Then the part 5 of said Starbreaker Supremacy in Green Lantern issue 27 by Jeremy Adams and Zermanico on page 33 there. I've also really been loving Aquaman by Jeremy Adams and John Timms. Not only just for the Jeremy Adams of it all, but happy to see John Timms back, as I loved the work he did on Young Justice a couple of years ago.
Well, I always like a good Aquaman yarn.
Mm-hmm. You will be getting that and more so here. Issue 9 of that as he reunites with the Justice League on page 33. And Jeff Lemire's JSA reaches its 11th issue with Diego Orletego. It rhymes on page 34.
You know, you've been kind of subdued in this recording with your usual borscht belt. It's kind of awe-inspiring.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You must be a little tired.
Try the veal. I mean, to be fair, it was feeling like 103 earlier today. So when I ventured out, I was like, why did I venture out? But it was a good day. It was a good day. Fire and Ice When Hell Freezes Over issue 6 reaches the fiery conclusion of that with Joanne.
Great dots and cover.
Oh, beautiful work there. Stephen Byrne on the artwork as well on page 35. And the New History of the DC Universe issue 4. This is not a final cover here, but that said cover by Chris Samnee when colored, I'm sure is going to be a beautiful thing.
Coincidentally, today I read the first issue.
Excellent.
And I heard Murd in my head narrating the entire issue because it starts with, the source.
Yeah.
And like literally the creation of all things, then it goes forward from there. And boy, if there was a book made for Murd to do an audio recording of, it's this book.
Well, I think we're gonna have to make that happen once once the September issue comes out. I am 100% gonna try to make that happen. Where Murd and whoever else can get on it, you or anybody else who wants to join forces. I'd love to just break down this series as much as we can, even if
I'm on board for that. It'd be a lot of fun.
Wonderful stuff. Mark Waid, art by Tony Daniel and Hayden Sherman. Page 35, the 4th and final issue of the New History of the DC Universe. Now, this is interesting here.
Oh, man.
Dan Jurgens and Mike Perkins reunite to follow their breakout series, The Batman First Night. We get our Batman Second Night. Page 30.
This was outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
The first arc they did, sort of a treasury-sized edition format. Perkins' art is just stunning. Again, it has a real sort of early golden age quality combined with like a film noir feel to it. This is one of the most exciting Batman stories, like sort of standalone, that I've read in quite some time. I can't recommend the first arc enough. I'm all in on this one. My God, wonderful! Yeah. Yep. So glad to do it. So glad they're doing this.
This is going to be a 6-issue mini, 32 pages for $3.99. Not bad at all. Page 36 here for that first issue, and that cover is everything. My God.
I can't recommend the first arc. Wonderful stuff.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, absolutely. We get a all-new original story from Dan Jurgens himself and Bruno Redondo in Superman Treasury 2025, Hero for All. They are previewing that for upcoming consumption here. The only Superman stands between Earth and annihilation. I cannot wait to read that.
I think that came out already because it says July at the bottom.
Yeah. Yep.
That should be in my next. That should be in my next shipment, actually.
Nice. Can't wait to get to it.
I can't wait for them to inevitably put the entire Tom Taylor Redondo Nightwing run into one collection, one omnibus. I'll buy that immediately.
Need to mention this as well. Murd mentioned the first issue, last previews that we did, Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum, issue 2. Maxwell Prince and Martin Marazzo, the team behind Ice Cream Man, bringing us a Superman story. Like, come on. It's going to be weird. It's going to be fun.
That is a foreboding cover, boy.
Yes, indeed. Yep. And they are tiny. Superman is big. There's a problem here. Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum, issue 2. There are new forms of kryptonite that do strange and interesting things to Superman, and clearly this might be one of them on display here. This is a 17 plus book here, so only for mature readers. Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum, issue 2 on page 38, as well as the 6th and final issue of The Return of Resurrection Man, Quantum Karma, character we have not seen in quite some time. Moving on, this is interesting. Your boy and mine, Tom Taylor, art and cover by Danielle Di Nicuola, Court, Children of the Round Table, issue 1. Page 40 here. These children of destiny will soon face a great evil, but they won't do so alone. For these friends have been chosen to wield ancient magical weapons. Great weapons bonded to knights of legend. Weapons that speak? Weapons that argue? With the evil Mordred's power growing, the fate of the world rests in the hands of the children of the Round Table. This sounds like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, it does.
Oh man, I am so in for this. Yeah, fascinating stuff here. Obviously, all ages. This is a 40-page, $3.99 book launching here. Court, Children of the Round Table, issue 1 on page 40. I love that DC is just letting Tom Taylor do whatever the hell he wants.
No, and they should.
Damn right they should. Yep, absolutely. Oh my God. Page 41. DC's Satanic Panic. Wow. Can you get a better name than that? I'm shocked it hasn't happened already. But it's an anthology of spooky stories. What's written by the likes of Dan Warren Johnson, Roberto Recchioni, Andrew McLean, Rowan McCall, Kevin Scott, and others. Just in time for Halloween. Get your Satanic Panic on with this one shot here on page 41 and enjoy it.
Oh, I love me a good facsimile.
What better facsimile than Batman #1? Written by Bill Finger. Let's point that out.
I just noted that. Let's heavily emphasize that because
damn right.
I would hazard to say he is 2/3 the creator of Batman. And I'd
say he's 8/9 of it. To be honest with you, Batman would not be Batman without Bill Finger. Bob Kane was there, and he drew parts of it.
Yeah,
that's
All
you got to do is look.
Bob Kane is a 2/3 charlatan at the very
Oh my
least.
God! All you got to do is look at the original design that Bob Kane wanted to do for Batman that looked like a knockoff generic superhero, and how we wound up with the costume that we did of the Batman that we know and love. And enough said.
So much of the credit needs to go to Finger and to Jerry Robinson.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of co-creating a lot of these characters. This is such important creators.
Yep, and they are available for you here in this facsimile of the very first issue of Batman. We also get facsimile of Judd Winnick and Doug Mahnke's Batman 635, all part of the Red Hood saga, and of New Fun Comics #1. Very interesting for the 90th anniversary.
Go ahead.
No,
this is very, very early in sort of DC's history. So this is it's the very first comic DC ever published, essentially. So this is enormously important.
Oh, absolutely.
Malcolm Wheeler Nicholson is one of the writers. I mean, he's the essentially the founding father of the company that would become DC. So I'm glad to see they're doing facsimiles like that.
Absolutely. Yep. Page 43 for that. We get the first volume of Absolute Martian Manhunter, Martian Vision. This collects the first 6 issues of that. They are currently on hiatus. They will be coming back for a second volume. I don't know if it's going to be titled as Volume 2 or if it's going to be issue 7, but either way, read the first 6 issues of Absolute Martian Manhunter. I love the first 2. It's an indie comic, basically. It's an indie comic under DC's label, and it's great. I really enjoy it. Justice League Unlimited, World's Finest, We Are Yesterday in full, on the same page as Jamal Campbell's Satana series. Both of those available for you on page 46. And then The Last Halloween in full, all 10 issues of that solicited here as well in trade paperback on page 47, along with Batman and Robin Jason Todd. Robin and Batman Jason Todd, that is, by Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen, basically telling us a brand new origin story for Jason Todd, giving him a much better costume while we're at it as well. So, like that, without the circle around the R, makes it very unique and different. Page 47 there. Also, Volume 1 of Green Lantern Corps by Jeremy Adams on page 48, and Batman R.I.P.
One of the most zany, fascinating eras in Batman.
Oh yeah, yep. On that same page, by the way, once again, happy to have Vertigo back as an imprint.
Day Tripper, excellent book.
Oh
excellent.
Yeah, this is a brand new edition of Day Tripper by Gabriel Ba and Fabio Moon, available under the Vertigo umbrella as it should be on page 49 here. And Why the Last Man in compact edition.
Yeah, I love these compact editions here. For example, I've got the Catwoman.
Nice.
Trial of the Catwoman, which is the first Darwin Cook, Ed Brubaker arc.
Very nice.
It's what is it, $9.99? Yeah, it's $9.99. I mean, they're wonderful. Again,
oh yeah.
I'm always on board when they try to get new readers in, or maybe revive the interest of readers maybe who've walked away for a while. And I mean, what do they have? They had Y and V for Vendetta here. Oh God.
Yep, both on page 50 here, and I mean, what better way to read it than you can take it on the train with you. That's one of my requirements in trades is like, is this small enough for me to take on the train? And this is most definitely that. So, absolutely. Meanwhile, for the first time ever, experience Crisis on Infinite Earths with all the tie-in issues and crossovers
in reading order. Murd.
Wow. DC Finest Events, Crisis on Infinite Earths, Part 1. This is 560 pages here, and this is going to collect DC Comics Presents 78, Crisis on Infinite Earths 1 through 4, and then All-Star Squadron 50 through 52, Fury of Firestorm 41, Infinity Inc. 18 to 19, Detective Comics 558 to 555 to 558, Green Lantern 194, Justice League 244, Batman 389 to 391, the Loser Special.
The Loser Special, which is not easy to find. Yep.
Indeed. Wonder Woman 327, and then pages from Swamp Thing issue 39.
I can't wait to hear Murd hold forth on this.
Excellent idea for DC to be putting stuff out this way. And under the DC Finest line as well, you get Super Friends, The Fury of the Super Foes by E. Nelson Bridwell himself, with artwork by Ramona Fradon herself, Rick Estrada, Alex Toth, and others. And DC Finest War, The Big Five Arrive. Some nice war comics there for you.
So we're getting here into Army at War. Mm-hmm. Our Fighting Forces, Black Hawk, All American, Men of War. I mean, GI Combat, Star Spangled. Yep. So again, DC's, we've talked about this in the past, but DC's war comics, the better examples of that were really cutting edge stuff for the time they were made. And again, Joe Kubert is all over a lot of the great covers from this period. So anybody who's interested in military comics, DC did some great stuff. Some not all of it was great. Some of it was could be a little silly or ham-handed, but the better stuff was really outstanding military comics.
That's on page 51 there. We also get a compendium of Injustice, which is mostly Tom Taylor with some Brian Bucoletto in there as well. Whole bunch of pages of comics here. 1,064 pages of Injustice, Gods Among Us compendium comics here for $60, and an omnibus of Secret Six by Gail Simone. This is the volume 2 omnibus of that. One of the best comics.
That was a fun series. That was a lot of fun.
So good. Both
the revelation of Catman.
Yes.
Such this revamped character made him so interesting.
Oh, absolutely. Not to mention Ragdoll and what she did with that character, Black Alice. Whole bunch of other of my favorites in there. Bane gets a really good run in these issues. So page 52 here, omnibus volume 2 of Secret Six by Gail Simone.
What I would say to any listeners, like if you've never read Secret Six, if you like books like the Thunderbolts, if you like books that sort of take the villains and put them in a new light, this is a book you would really enjoy. Secret Six.
Yep. I know Murd just got Star Worlds at War not too long ago in his reading order, and this is the prelude to that by Jeff Loeb, along with Ed McGuinness, Mike McKone, and tons of others. Mike McKone, I wish that was a name I heard more often these days.
Wonderful artist,
Mike McKone.
Wonderful.
But page 53 brings that a very specific era of Superman being presented here for you on page 53. This might be for you, my friend. The Human Target by Tom King and Greg Smallwood.
My arms are aloft in triumph because I was just thinking to myself as going through this, I'm like, when are they going to do the whole thing in one edition?
You got it. Yep.
All right, let me make a note right now so I don't forget. So, I mean, on the old show, I just would wax rhapsodic about this ad nauseum.
Indeed.
I think this is the best work Tom King has produced, and that's saying something. Yeah. Greg Smallwood's artwork in this is some of the most exciting, dynamic work I've seen in comics for years. His penciling, the coloring. This is a crime noir that just happens to have the Human Target and ice in it.
Yep.
It is a devastating story. It's heartbreaking. It's passionate. It takes you in places you don't expect. It is very much a Black Label DC story. Like this is a Guy Gardner that maybe you could imagine seeing, but when you see him, you're really horrified. This is as good as it gets, folks. I am ordering this without hesitation. I don't even care how much it is. $50, worth it. This is
excellent
because it's been in 2 volumes so far. This is the whole series collected. It looks like it's a beautiful package in there too. It
is, yeah. It makes it look like an old school, detective story more than anything else.
This is the artwork has this sort of stylized like 50s crime noir feel. It is just beautiful. Oh, I can't wait to get this in one edition.
Human Target by Tom King and Greg Smallwood, along with artwork by Raphael Albuquerque and Kevin McGuire and Mikhail Janin. As you said, this collects issues 1 through 12 and Tales of the Human Target, issue 1, and that is available for you on page 54. Also, Warlord by Mike Grell getting an omnibus.
That's an important book too. Grell's epic Warlord character. 1970s and 80s, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
I mean, Grell's his Green Arrow run was fantastic. He has a flair for drawing these types of characters, with sword and sorcery, bow and arrow, that type of figure. Beautiful work.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. All right. And that concludes the DC catalog. On we go to Marvel. And
unfortunately, I got to leave soon, buddy. I apologize.
No worries. No worries. Shock of shocks. We're definitely going to be talking about what is here on the very first page, and that is one of the crossovers between Marvel and DC, and that is Deadpool Batman #1, with a whole bunch of creators doing a whole bunch of different stories on top of it. There's Kevin Smith, Kelly Thompson, Chip Zdarsky, and tons more doing backup stories in this. So there's going to be a Daredevil Green Arrow crossover that Kevin Smith is going to be writing.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, Zdarsky's working on this as well. Like you really there's so much to want to read and enjoy about this. So do check it out. It's available on page 1 of the catalog here, and you get some variant covers there by tons of others as well. We're also returning to the Age of Apocalypse. And this is literally a return, as it will be Jeff Loeb and Simone DeMeo bringing us X-Men of Apocalypse Alpha.
Do we know where in the course of the saga these stories are happening?
This is supposedly after the events of the original Age of Apocalypse.
Okay.
And there's still a world, and we don't know.
I thought the world was erased, though, at the end. No, that was silly of me even to say that. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Yeah, it was and it wasn't, and we're about to find out why. There have been other versions of the why, but not told by Jeff Loeb. And this is basically going to be what if Jeff Loeb continued his story past that.
And let me say, people who might be jaded by the endless torrent of crossovers over the year, this was a great one.
Oh, absolutely.
This was an outstanding, innovative, exciting take on those characters. I remember loving every bit of it.
Yes, please, on page 12.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
God, someone got inside your brain.
Seriously, I mean, no. This is what happens when people of my age are the ones that are writing comics for Marvel.
It's by J.M. DeMatteis, one of the great Spider-Man scribes. Wow.
J.M. DeMatteis and Jim Toh bring us Spider-Man 94, issue 1 of 5, continuing the story of the Spider-Man animated series where we left off.
Oh, God.
So
you're a huge fan of that series. This got excited,
Skippy, man. And we ended on a cliffhanger where Mary Jane had not been found. Like after Spider-Man literally met Stan Lee, he goes off into the multiverse to try to find the missing Mary Jane Watson, and this is gonna leave off exactly where that was. So
now, were they planning to continue that, or they're never planning to?
They were uncertain whether or not there was going to be another basically another season to finish it off, and they decided they were going to end it where they did either way, and that is where they ended it. So yeah, that works out the way that it did there. So page 12, Spider-Man 94, issue 1 of 5, and the artwork looks great.
Sure does.
Yeah, I'm in for this 100%. We're going to be getting the Spider-Man 94 version of Kane in this universe, and tons of others. So all in. Battle World is back. Yep.
Oh my God.
Page 16.
Christos Gage, excellent writer.
Excellent indeed. And Marcus Toe on the artwork for it as well.
Is that Star Brand I see there?
You better believe it.
It is.
Yep. Star Brand is going to be a part of this. Yeah. Heroes from across the multiverse are thrown together on a patchwork world to engage in their own secret wars for the survival of their timelines. Who or what has created this battle world, and for what nefarious purpose? Enter Maestro. Is he friend or foe? In. I don't think I've been this excited about Marvel in a while now, and they're throwing things at us. Even this year, Marvel Zombies Red Band by Ethan Parker and Jan Bazaldia. This is an interesting take. The Dark rise again for the first time. The most important space flight in Marvel Universe. 4 intrepid heroes took off into unknown and returned changed, and hungering for human flesh. So, what if the Fantastic Four came back as zombies?
Okay.
Oy vey. The only bad things can happen here with a variant by Greg Land on page 18. You get yourself a Red Band Punisher by Benjamin Percy on page 20 with Julio's Ultra. 5-issue mini, Frank is back. Reread and rewrote and reloaded, Frank Castle is back with no memories, a full clip, and a thirst for wrathful vengeance. His violent search for answers could only be chronicled in a Red Band series. So I guess Red Band is the new Max, essentially.
I'm guessing.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if this is good or not, but Garth Ennis has done so much great Punisher work. Just
go
read all that.
Oh, yeah, very much so. But Benjamin Percy is a good writer to work with here. So page 20 for that. Interiors look damn mighty fine, too, if I do so myself.
Yep, they sure do.
When you got to censor stuff, you know you're on a good path. And issue 3 of Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe. Is that a Godzilla-sized Iron Man suit? Why, yes, it is. And is it a variant cover by Dave Wachter? You sure better believe it is. Love it. Welcome to the Godzilla's world, X-Men. Hope you survived the experience. Jerry Duggan has the X-Men taking on Godzilla here. On page 24. Should be good times. Love what they're doing with that. Hickman and Fox Imperial War Exiles. Yeah, this is not the Exiles you're used to, but it sure as hell is going to be Mr. Hickman dipping his toes back into some of the X characters that he didn't get a chance to finish up with.
Oh. Exiles was a fun series.
Yes, it was. This in particular is going to have Charles Xavier and the resurrected Lilandra. So,
interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, Lilandra's been missing a long time.
Indeed. That's on page 26. And then there'll be Imperial War Nova Centurion, as the Xandarian world mine will be lost forever unless Rich Rider can earn the credits needed to keep it alive. Nova must offer his services to the highest bidder. Have helmet will travel. Hickman and McKay with Matea Delafante on page 27. And wow, 450 issues of Doctor Strange on page 28.
What's wonderful is that they've included Roger Stern, who did great Doctor Strange stories in the 1980s. I'm happy to see his name there. Yep.
As well as J. Michael Straczynski, Christian Ward, and a bunch of others. Artwork by Ron Lim in the mix there. Christian Ward. Great cover here by Lionel Francis Yu. Congratulations on 450 issues of Doctor Strange on page 28. Yep. Undead Iron Fist for you. The Book of the Iron Fist declares that every Iron Fist will die by the age of 33. But who wrote and created this false prophecy? Danny Rand was killed, but can you truly kill an immortal Iron Fist? No, you can't. You're just going to come back anyway. And
I thought you were going to make a crack about the television show, but
I mean, well, yeah, they did kind of kill that, but apparently there's a version of Iron Fist showing up in the new Wakanda animated series. One of the variations of Iron Fist.
When is that series premiering?
Very soon. I think if not this week, then next week.
Oh, terrific.
Yep. So Undead Iron Fist issue 1 here on page 29. And G. Will Wilson's second issue of Black Cat for us on page 30. Friendly Neighborhood Black Cat?
Always a fun character.
Yep. Thor. We've gone from immortal Thor to very mortal Thor. as Al Ewing continues his story with a new volume of Thor, along with the one and only Pasquale Ferry on the artwork. Who is the man called Thor? Thunder gods were hired to teach a simple lesson. Make trouble for Roxxon Construction, and they'll make trouble for you. Now somebody's targeting the bike gang where they live. Somebody who won't give up. Somebody calling himself Thor. Somewhere in the city, a man with a hammer is getting to work. Certainly a grounded take on Thor here from Al Ewing, and I'm all for it on page 31.
I have to read his. I didn't really read his previous run on the character, so I have to get the trades.
I had started it, so right. I'm going to go back to it. Yep.
I'm gonna exit here. Mm-hmm. But we have to comment on what's on the screen.
Of course.
First of all, I'm hoping that when Marvel Knights: The World to Come concludes, you, me, Shane, and Murd have an episode where we break down and discuss this series. So I've read issues 1 and 2, art by Joe Quesada, which is wonderful. But it's Christopher Priest returning to the world of Wakanda and the Black Panther. And I don't want to spoil too much because it's still going. The first 2 issues were I was home from virtually the first page. Yeah, and it's a story very much in the future, but also in the past. And most importantly, it's Ross narrating, which is just gold.
Excellent.
But it's anybody who read the Priest run, which I've again raved about for years. You definitely read this because it's very much in keeping with that version of Black Panther, and it's essentially like I guess in a way like a final story, so to speak. Yeah. But I'm so excited for what I've read so far. So
excellent. Happy to hear it.
And I gotta go. I'm sorry. I gotta go walk the dog. Actually.
No, by all means, Chris. Thanks for joining me as much as you could here, and we'll talk to you next week.
Well, for many other reasons, I was just happy to see you. So.
Indeed. All right,
man. We'll talk next week.
Sounds good.
Look forward to it. Good night, buddy.
Take care. Bye. Good night. All right. It's just me solo for the rest of this episode. We're just going to do a couple more here after we get done with Marvel anyway. So, Captain America issue 3 on page 36 here. Zdarsky continuing his Captain America run that just started up with Valerio Cidi as well. The Origin of Doom. A meeting with Dr. Doom in Latveria forces Steve to confront the realities of the harsh new world he's awoken in. Meanwhile, Dave Colton and the Howling Commandos infiltrate Doom's fortress to rescue hostages, but instead they uncover a sinister truth behind Doom's rise to power. Now, again, this is a very, very different origin here for Captain America, as he's essentially waking up post 9/11, and there's a whole other Captain America that we deal with at start here. So Captain America issue 3, available for you on page 36. Great cover there on page 37 as well. Ultimate Black Panther reaches its 20th issue as Bast intervenes and T'Challa ascends. What does that mean for Black Panther? We'll find that out. And on page 39, we get the first issue of Ultimate Hawkeye by Denise Camp and Juan Frigeri, as Ultimate Hawkeye targets the Maker. This spins out of the Ultimates. Breakout hit character Hawkeye goes on a covert solo op that will have a massive impact on the future of the Ultimate Universe. That's on page 39 there. We're getting to some sort of conclusion here with the Ultimate Universe as well. I'm sure there's probably going to be something after that, no question, but there has been talk of the Ultimate books reaching their conclusion and then possibly a new volume after that. So we shall see where we go. But issue 4 of Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion of 5 there, available on page 40, and then page 41 brings us the final meeting of the Sinister Six, ? Jonathan Hickman and Marco Cicchetto on page 41 indeed. We get to further down, issue 3 of Ryan North and Humberto Ramos's Fantastic Four, as One World Under Doom continues, and we'll be getting to a conclusion of that shortly, but still happy to see Humberto Ramos on the Fantastic Four Just as happy as I am to see issue 4 or 5 of Rainbow Rowell's return to the Runaways on page 46. I really hope there is a way for her to continue past this miniseries and that there's a Runaways book, period, because I always love when there is a Runaways book in the Marvel universe in any form. So we shall see. Marvel Zombies attack in the ruins of Secret Wars. Those are words. Jed McKay and Farid Karami bring it for us here. Avengers issue 30. As the Avengers hunt for the missing moment takes them to the last place anyone expected, the ruins of Hickman's Secret Wars, where Marvel zombies await. And while Earth's mightiest heroes are away, someone needs to protect the world in their absence. Luckily, they know just the group of misunderstood mutants, the X-Men, which Jed McKay also happens to be writing, so big shock there. Page 49 for that. Countdown to issue 1000 of Amazing Spider-Man. That's how many times this series has gone bi-weekly. But Amazing Spider-Man issue 11 by Joe Kelly with Pepe Larraz and John Romita Jr. Spidey goes cosmic for the first time in a while in that. And we're going to be getting Legacy issue 975, but also Amazing Spider-Man issue 12. Stop, Spider-Man. Spider-Man's gone too far. Now his greatest allies must stop him before it's too late. Yeah, I mean, that seems to happen every now and then for him too, but that's on page 52 there. Venom versus Mary Jane Watson on page 55 of All New Venom by Al Ewing. I'm sure that's going to go cozy. And a Black Cat in Brooklyn as Miles Morales gets his time with the newly, quote-unquote, reformed Black Cat, as we get Miles Morales Spider-Man issue 38 there on page 56. And New Avengers issue 4, Sam Humphries and Tiago Palma bring us Double Trouble on page 57. This is the series that was titled Thunderbolts, so I guess they've just straight up changed it over to New Avengers, so I'm not surprised there. That's on page 57 there. Wolverines versus Deadpools continues on page 59. This is issue 3 of 3 of that. So Ellie breaks bad. Let's see what that actually leads to there on page 59. And Gail Simone and Luciano Vecchio reached their 20th and 21st issues of Uncanny X-Men on page 60 and 61. My favorite thing about issue 21 here is that the Wolverine Ransom two-fisted team-up takes a definite weird turn as our baddest heroes chase a classic X-villain to, of all places, a comic book convention in beautiful Argentina. Didn't see that one coming. So enjoy your Argentina Comic-Con with Wolverine thrown in there for good measure on page 61. We also get the 13th issue of Exceptional X-Men by Eve Ewing on page 62. And then a lead into next month's game-changing event as Havoc and Cyclops have a lot to say to each other here, along with Doug Ramsey, for that matter. And Doug Ramsey's looking a lot more apocalyptic these days in X-Men 22 on page 63. Laura Kinney Wolverine number 10 has both Kinney sisters involved. So looking forward to that as well on page 64. And the conclusion of the Thunder War is on page 65, Storm issue 10 there by Muruya Ayodele and Lucas Wernick. Magic gets the 9th and 10th issues of her series, as I believe that is concluding. And Phoenix's issue 15 on page 67. Forces beyond fathoming, watching carefully, Jean Grey, the woman, the hero, the Phoenix herself, must come to a decision about her sister's fate. Will Sarah Grey live to see another day, or will Jean consign her to death for good? I don't think so. I really don't think so. But hey, who knows? Page 67. And Logan gets an offer he can't refuse on page 68 here with Wolverine issue 13 by Saladin Ahmed. It's Jeff and Other Marvel Tales by Kelly Thompson and Alyssa Wong on page 70 of the series here. Onward to the facsimiles. We got a facsimile of Fantastic Four number 9 as they continue to reprint the first 12 issues of Fantastic Four as they originally appeared. And on that same page, a facsimile of one of the best Kitty Pryde issues. Welcome to the X-Men Kitty Pryde. Hope you survived the experience. Good times. Reprinting the complete Death of the Phoenix saga issues as they originally appeared. This brings you X-Men issue 139 by Claremont and Byrne. Then page 73 brings you Civil War issue 2 in facsimile. Edge of Venomverse issue 1, because that's the thing we needed. Page 74. And the 5th and final issue of the Vision and Scarlet Witch miniseries by Steve Orlando is brought to us, which means we'll be getting a collection of that soon as well on page 76. And we're almost done with the Death of the Silver Surfer miniseries by Greg Pak and Sumit Kumar as well. Saladin Ahmed's Daredevil reached its 25th issue. Wilson Fisk's days of piety are over. As he returns to Hell's Kitchen rife with sacrilege, it's up to the Daredevils, Matt and Elektra, to put aside their differences and stop the Kingpin's blasphemy. Double the Daredevils, double the fun there. Second issue of Predator Kills the Marvel Universe by Benjamin Percy and Marcelo Ferreira there on page 81. We're also getting ourselves a Star Wars Han Solo Hunt for the Falcon by Rodney Barnes and Ramon Rosanas. 5-issue miniseries, all Han Solo here. In the time before The Force Awakens, where is the Millennium Falcon? You'll find that out here on page 84 in full. Well, not in full. It just started. It's issue 1. On we go to the trades. We got a trade of Matt Fraction and David Aja's Hawkeye, My Life as a Weapon in Premier Collection version. Available on page 90, and that is well worth it. There's also Premier Collections for Daredevil Born Again and Black Panther A Nation Under Our Feet, as well as Fantastic Four Solve Everything. But My Life as a Weapon is a damn good thing to have in Premier format. This is only $14.99, so not bad at all. A must-read reinvention, the Earth's mightiest marksman that inspired Marvel Studios' Hawkeye. Brings it there to you on page 90 and 91. We also get the return of Superior Spider-Man for you on page 92 in full omnibus. Complete your Superior Spider-Man story with the return story of Superior Spider-Man, as well as Indestructible Hulk, the all-new X-Men specials, and a bunch of other stuff in there as well. Full Armor Wars omnibus of Iron Man here by Bob Layton, David McElhaney, Barry Windsor-Smith, and others in hardcover format. So 680 pages for $100 before discount. Page 93. And the Revenge of the Black Panther omnibus for you by Kirby, Hannigan, Gillis, and others. I'm sure that Chris Eberle would be interested in this being reprinted. Available on page 94, although I'm pretty sure he already owns it in one form or another. So still worth checking out for anybody who hasn't checked it out. With a Walt Simonson Inferno cover, we get X Factor, the original X-Men omnibus by Wheezy herself, along with John Byrne, Chris Claremont, Dan Fingeroff, and others. That's available on page 96. And Marvel Fanfare gets an omnibus on page 97 while we're at it. The Marvel and Disney What If stuff gets a full trade paperback on page 99. So cool to see that all collected in one package. And Ryan North's Fantastic Four gets its volume 6. This is the One World Under Doom story by Ryan North and Fabian Nicieza by Corey Smith and Chris Lee as well. So that not only collects the Fantastic Four series, but also giant-sized Fantastic Four included for good measure. And to finish us off, let me roll down here into the Epic collections. We have a Incredible Hulk Epic collection covering the Bill Mantlo, Mark Gruenwald, Stephen Grant era of the Incredible Hulk, along with Sal Buscema, Herb Trimpe, and Steve Ditko. That's available on page 112. And then a Doctor Doom Epic collection by Stan, Larry, and Roy. You know their last names. Stan Lee, Larry Lieber, Roy Thomas, penciled by Jack Kirby, Ditko, Heck, Cohen, Larry Lieber himself, and Frank Giacoia. Collect some of the earliest appearances of Doctor Doom in one Epic collection. So that means you get 488 pages only for $54.99. Not bad at all. And some great Doctor Doom content there for you on page 113. We'll finish things off with the Epic collection of Wounded Wolf, Volume 13 in the X-Men Epic collection, as we are in a very important time of the X-Men here. This is Chris Claremont along with Romita Jr., Rick Leonardi, June Brigman, Barry Windsor-Smith, and Arthur Adams, collecting Uncanny 199 through 210, X-Men Annual 9 through 10, the New Mutants Special Edition number 1, and Marvel Fanfare issue 33, all on page 115. We get some Nimrod action in this, so that tells you exactly where we are. And that concludes the Marvel catalog. So I'm going to do a couple of other catalogs here, and then I will go ahead and call it, since, again, it is just me at this point. But one of the catalogs that we are going to be covering is the Boom catalog. And I just want to make sure I have that up and ready to go here before we have that settled. And we will have that in just a moment here. Here we go. All right, on we go to the Boom catalog. Glad it auto-opened. Thank you, Boom catalog. And Boom, once again, is out of Penguin Random House entirely now. And let's see what they have to offer. Any of you fans of The Expanse, on their first page, get Andy Diggle and Wes Chatham bringing you The Expanse, A Little Death, issue 1. This is available on page 1, on sale September 3rd. The Expanse has always been about big moves, and this might be the biggest yet. Wes Chatham, the man behind Amos Burton, isn't just stepping back into the universe, he's shaping its future as co-writer in the next epic installment. Good to see that happen. So anybody who's a fan of The Expanse, you get to continue your story here with a new miniseries available to you on page 1. It might even be an ongoing. They're not sure. They're not being very specific about that. So either way, it's the first issue. Anyone who was waiting for a soft cover of Animal Pound by Tom King and Peter Gross, you get that here on page 4 of the Boom catalog. So nice to see that there. Also, Minor Arcana gets its second volume collected, issues 6 through 10 of the Jeff Lemire written and illustrated edition there on page 5. This is fascinating. The Last Day of H.P. Lovecraft by Romuald Gioluvo, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, with Jacob Rebelka on the illustrations, adapting the hit French graphic novel come together to give us the dreamlike story of the very last day of H.P. Lovecraft. See the final journey of a complex and tortured man facing his choices, his writings, and his mistakes at the very last moment of his life. The Last Day of H.P. Lovecraft, available for you on page 6 of the Boom catalog. Books of Slaughter Deluxe Edition by James Tynion IV and Werther Dell'Edera. That collects Books of Slaughter number 1, Book of Butcher number 1, and Book of Cutter number 1. All there on page 11. Michael Conrad's In Bloom available for you there on page 14. This collects all 5 issues of Michael Conrad's In Bloom story. And then issue 2 of our favorite crossover, Ryan Parrott and Vincenzo Federici, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, number 2. It's the third, but it's the second. The third time this has happened, but the second issue. Available there on page 15. All right, scrolling down a bit more. Everything else is kind of ongoing here. So I'll mention 7 Cities Deluxe Edition by Tom Taylor. This, for centuries, the Order has trusted in keepers and holders to guard the secrets in 7 briefcases against all harm. But when their stronghold is attacked and the secrets put in peril, the entire Order must face their greatest fear, an enemy who knows too much and is willing to kill to get what he wants. Now the Order's newest member, Casper, must discover the truth of the secrets before the enemy does, or risk losing everything. This is all 18 issues of 7 Secrets by Tom Taylor, available in deluxe hardcover. There's also a slipcase edition of this, so if you want to pay a little bit more and get an $80 version, you can. Otherwise, it's available for $60. And this is a majorly advanced solicitation. This is actually not going to be available until November 25th, but it is being offered here in its initial solicitation on page 23. All right, and that concludes Boom. I will head us over to Dark Horse real quick. See what Dark Horse has to offer this month in their catalogs. All right. New Dungeons and Dragons series by Greg Pak himself and Wilton Santos. In a time of fickle gods and feckless governors, the world yearns for heroes, but what it gets are the fallbacks. Party of daring, dubious, and dysfunctional adventurers who arrive in the city of Loudwater in search of glory and gold. But an encounter with kobold them thieves put the fallbacks in the crosshairs of a rival team of deeply annoying local heroes. Will the fallbacks pull off a heist for the ages, or will they sacrifice it all, put these heroes in their place? Nice to see Greg Pak on something D&D related. So Dungeons and Dragons, the Fallback Series 1, number 1, there on page 2 of the Dark Horse catalog. And thank you very much for actual page numbers, Dark Horse. Everyone else should follow suit, please. That would be greatly appreciated. Patton Oswalt bringing us Minor Threats, The Last Devil Left Alive, written by Patton Oswalt and Jordan Bloom, with artwork by Scott Hepburn as well. Hit superhero saga that's Watchmen meets The Wire returns from Oswalt and Bloom of the MODOK series on Hulu. They were the co-creators of that, essentially. And Frankie Follis, a.k.a. the supervillain Playtime, has hit rock bottom. Her criminal empire was left in ruins after her ex-level scalper's betrayal. The secret deal she cut with the superhero team, the Continuum, was exposed along with her secret identity, forcing Frankie to flee and disappear off the grid. 3 years later, she's resurfaced, recruiting friend and foe alike to help her uncover a secret that threatened Twilight City. Grab your freeze guns and power gauntlets. It's time to join the underground. 5-issue mini here launching by Oswalt and Bloom on page 4. And also available a whole bunch of other trades of Minor Threats on the next page. James Tynion IV and Michael Avon Oeming are teaming together. Of course, Avon Oeming is also on the artwork here for Red Book number 1. Russia, 1961. 9 students died tragically under mysterious circumstances that will come to be known as the Dyaltov Pass incident. To this day, the true cause of their deaths remains unknown, though some theorize the blame lies with visitors from beyond the stars. And this is very much going into that. You know, James Tynion knows how to do weird, and this is going to be that and more. Red Book number 1 here on page 6. Also, the second of the Kill All Immortals series, starting off here with a first issue. Zach Kaplan and Fico Ossio continuing their Kill All Immortals series with a new miniseries available there on page 7. Further along, Mike Mignola brings us Captain Henry in the Graveyard of Time. Artwork there by Bruce Zick, who's also the co-writer of this. An intrepid time traveler voyages to a new dimension, but the monsters he finds there may be less of a danger than time itself. Let me say it Murd style. Time itself. Captain Henry and the Graveyard of Time, available for you there on page 9. Also, any of you Avatar fans, there is a new trailer for the third movie that is attached to Fantastic Four. So if you go see that, it will be available to you. But also there's a new miniseries, Avatar: The Gap Year Tipping Point, by Ethan Sachs and Salvatore Porcaro, writer and artist. So get ready for that. Any of you who are a fan of the blue Avatar, not Avatar: The Last Airbender, but the blue Avatar series, that is available there on page 10. Hannah Rose May brings us The Guy in the Chair, and artwork there by Guillermo Sana. In the blood-soaked world of assassins and spies, love has no place. Unfortunately for Abby, a tactical analysis at a private military company, love is all he can think about. Against his employer's strict policy, he's fallen head over heels for Merlin, the field operative whose mission he supports as her guy in the chair. So Hannah Rose May brings us this interesting take on the dude behind the scenes and what could possibly happen there. Spy thriller with romance and comedy, 4-issue mini there on page 11. JMS putting out a Dark Horse book, Synthetics, Part 1. Tony Parker on the artwork for this, too. This is a 4-issue miniseries on a dying Earth filled with expanding dead zones. Humans form rage gangs to vent their anger at futures lost or escape into the cyber void to avoid thinking about what's coming. Our only hope of survival rests with a new kind of humans. Will their appearance in desperate world be met with acceptance or destruction? Are they angels, devils, or the latest iteration of Frankenstein's monster? Synthetics Part 1. Kind of a Blade Runner-esque feel to that, definitely. New apocalyptic sci-fi series from JMS himself, available on page 12. As we continue on in the book here, a whole bunch of ongoings. So let's see if anything else is brand spanking new. Well, we do have the Avatar: The Last Airbender Team Avatar Treasury Omnibus. This collects Last Airbender, Katara, and the Pirate's Silver, Avatar: The Last Airbender Toph's Metal Bending Academy, and Avatar: The Last Airbender Suki Alone, all in one collection there on page 22. We also get volume 1 of Arcbound, collecting the first 6 issues of Tom Hardy and Scott Snyder's Arcbound in one collection. And most importantly, Masters of the Universe Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Turtles of Grayskull on page 23 there by Tim Seeley and Freddie E. Williams II himself. Gotta love that cover there with Michelangelo wearing the wig, the He-Man wig. Absolutely well worth the price of admission there on page 23. All right, and I think that's going to reach us to the end of the Dark Horse catalog, as most other stuff is ongoing or stuff that we already know about. So now that we've reached that, I am going to go ahead and go over to the Lunar catalog for just a little bit and handpick some selections in there. I will say the Lunar catalog is worth paging through, like you would have paged through the Diamond catalog before that. But there's a lot of stuff here, and I'm only one person right now, so there isn't going to be a lot that I'm really going to be able to cover, unfortunately. But I will mention the City Hunter Omnibus, Volume 1 here by Abrams, written and illustrated by Tsukasa Hojo. This is an era-defining manga phenomenon finally arriving in a gorgeous deluxe English language omnibus. The source of multiple anime series, specials, films, live-action adaptations of video games, City Hunter is beloved for its mix of action, comedy, and romance, and has sold over 50 million volumes worldwide. And now we get ourselves a deluxe omnibus edition of it. So this is 582 pages in paperback with dust jacket. It's basically a 3-in-1 omnibus, which is beautiful for longtime fans with cross-volume spine art, but at an accessible price point for fans to gift and introduce the series to a friend. Available for you there on page 8 of the Lunar catalog. We also get something that Chris would definitely be interested in here, The History of World War II by Abrams, by Arnold de la Croix and Vicente Cifuentes. This is a massive and lushly illustrated graphic novel on World War II that looks through the eyes of major players such as Churchill, Stalin, Hitler, and FDR, telling the story of the long-running war and all that comes with it. It looks beautifully illustrated from the preview pages here. That's available for only $30, which is not bad at all before discount, on page 10 out of Abrams. As we scroll down further in the catalog, I want to make sure we get to Ahoy, as we got some buddies out of there always. Toxic Avenger Comics number 3, available for you there on page 23. And Toxic Team Up, which I wanted to get to, of course, because Tom Pyre and some guy named Jamal Igle are the guys behind it. And we always pimp Jamal Igle here, and not just because he's a member of the Comic Timing family, but page 25 brings you Toxic Team Up, issue 4, as the Toxic Avenger teams up with the Wrong Earth as we get ourselves some Dragonfly Man action along with Toxic Avenger on page 25. Can't wait to see where that is going to bring us. Archie Comics Judgment Day, Aubrey Sitterson, Megan Hutchison, and Matt Herms, along with Jack Morelli. That is available there on page 27 of the catalog. It's a nice horror book for the right time of year. And Sabrina the Teenage Witch Magic Unleashed, also out of Archie, by Craig Boldman and Stephen Butler, for some more traditional Archie wares, to say the least. Ronda Rousey is writing a book, Expecting the Unexpected, and it's illustrated by Mike Deodato. Original graphic novel written by Rousey herself. Her codename Mom. With a fake baby bump filled with guns, she's built a reputation as one of the deadliest hit women on the planet. But on the verge of her big break in the criminal underworld, Mom makes a fateful decision, sleeping with a potential target who just so happens to be a top-ranked assassin himself. What follows is a wild mashup of action, adventure, comedy, and romance as a newly pregnant mom with a bounty on her head fights off wave after wave of assassins, falls in love with her baby daddy, and decides how to face her personal and professional predicament. This is on page 35 of the Lunar catalog. Expecting the Unexpected by Ronda Rousey herself, with artwork by the great Mike Deodato. And it is some great Mike Deodato artwork. I am really pleased with it. Really interesting grid layout for what he has on display here. But I expect nonetheless from a master of the craft like him. So do check that out of AWA. Gonna scroll down a bit further into the catalog here. Bad Idea has a bunch of stuff if you want to check that out. But honestly, I am close to running out of steam here, and I got to make sure that I get at least a couple of more books in on this here. And let me go down to some of the other publishers that we might be interested in. Do check out everything out of Bad Idea, though. Bad Idea's got some good creators on their books right now. But also a whole bunch of stuff that's also mid-story. So I'm going to go ahead and find us tomorrow's in a little bit. But before I get there, mention, of course, the Bone Flipbook on page 90 here by Jeff Smith himself. It's an update to the original flipbook released in 1994, featuring a short scene right out of the Great Cow Race animated by the great Disney animator Tom Bancroft, with cleanup drawings by famed Monsters Beware graphic novelist Rafael Rosado. It's a Bone Flipbook there by Jeff Smith himself. Well worth the time. Also, Clover is putting together the DC art of Jorge Jimenez just in time for his work on Batman. So that's pretty cool that they're making that happen. That's on page, I believe, 93 of that. And now I can skip the entire DC catalog because I did that already. So let me get out of here, see what else sparks my joy. We are in Fantagraphics, and that does actually spark my joy. So let's see what Fantagraphics has to offer. The Atlas Comics Library, Volume 7, Girl Comics. Some romance comics by John Buscema, Russ Heath, and others, bringing us back to the Atlas years of comic books. And Fantagraphics is making that happen on page, I believe, 203 of the Lunar catalog. They also have the Peanuts Every Sunday 1952 to 1955 paperback edition on 205, and the Disney Masters Collection box set while we're at it. But this is worth it here. Walt Disney's Donald Duck. This looks like a job for Duck Avenger by Nicholas Pothier and Luke Badham Cowan. Creative team of Cowan and Pothier confront Donald Duck with the wild life of a superhero and the wilder life of working stiff in an outrageous new graphic novel. So, superhero ducks not coming out of Marvel on page 20, I believe it's either 207. Yeah, I think it's 207 actually. If not, it's 208. They make it a little bit hard to find the main situation there. So, all right, I can skip image. A lot up at Mad Cave, so may as well check to see what they have. Dark Empty Void in trade paperback. That's on page 308 here. Collects the first 5 issues of that by Zach Kaplan and Chris Sheehan. We also get Paul Tobin's Dark Pyramid. It was locked away, and now it's here to stay. Huki Hidalgo, adventurist and popular live streamer, has gone missing while climbing Denali. When his girlfriend Becca arrives in Alaska to retrace his steps, she soon discovers something beyond the dreamy landscape. There's a conspiracy deep within the heart of Denali itself, a dark pyramid, silent, waiting. This is available on page 310 of the catalog, and release date is September 17th out of Mad Cave. Scrolling down a bit more, we are in Massive. Let's see what issue of Popeye we're up to. Well, Detective Kaiju, I remember mentioning a while back. This is issue 4 of that, available on page 319. And we're also getting, well, Massive Indies here. That's a whole bunch of different stuff, but let's see if anything has a first issue here. If it doesn't, then I am going to skip it over. Here we are, The Dusk by Alex Segura and Elizabeth Little. Artwork by David Hahn. This is an epic new miniseries from Segura and Little. The city of Blackstone is propped up by corruption and fear. Public defender Jaime Nunez, former baseball hero, now a divorced dad, has tried his best. The criminal justice system targets the weak and poor. So Jaime has chosen a more direct way to make a difference as the masked hero knows the dusk. This is definitely a resolicit because I remember this being solicited. However, I think as is the case with a whole bunch of stuff because of Diamond, I don't think it ever came out. So this is out of AMP Comics. This is massive indies. The Dusk by Alex Segura and Elizabeth Little. I will re-mention it because it is worth checking out and definitely ordering. And that's available on page 327, The Dusk. And there's also a LCSD edition of that, featuring an exclusive cover by the one and only Pete Woods. Do love me some Pete Woods. All right, as we get further down in the catalog, I think I am just going to search out some of the other stuff that I am looking for. But I'll mention Ray Media. Why not? TJ and Spencer Sterling, Jonathan Nats Ledesma. With the galaxy in turmoil, the fate of humanity rests on the shoulders of 4 teenage space pilots and an overgrown panda. The year is 3022, and it's been 10 years since the destruction of Earth at the hands of the Eukarya, a horde of parasitic alien creatures. In the wake of this calamity, humankind has fled to the stars and created a new home, the Libor Space Station, that is. A haven for life to grow and flourish. On Libor, a militaristic arm is created to protect what is left of their existence. Enter Fox, Deuce, Dragonetti, Legs, and Tank, the Joystick Angels. This brings us the first volume of Joystick Angels by TJ and Spencer Sterling, art by Jonathan Nats Ledesma, and that's on page 351 of the Lunar catalog, and it comes with a soundtrack. So if you really want something cool and unique, you are definitely going to find it there. And I would like to thank Massive for making all of these independent comics happen. Such as Kaiju Cooking, Legendary Collection by Hiroshi Kanatani. Double portion of Core Raptor creator Hiroshi Kanatani's exciting new series, Kaiju Cooking, collects issues 1 and 2 in a single giant-sized meal. Sounds delicious, doesn't it? Page 361 for that. All right, we're in Oni now. Matt Hodson and Juan Gideon bring us Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa. This sounds straight out of animated series of my youth. And this is page 368 of the catalog. The Wild West is about to get even wilder. Based on the classic animated... Okay, so it is an animated series. And their red-hot line of toy collectibles, the Cowboys of Moo Mesa are back to set to ride toward a all-new showdown on the frontier from Matt Hodson of Power Rangers The Return and Juan Gideon of DC The Jurassic League. So yeah, not a animated series I'm familiar with, but this does give you a 4-issue mini out of Oni, Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa. We also get Skin Police 2 by Jordan Thomas, new 4-issue mini, the second in the Skin Police series. When you're a cop in the year 2142, you can't afford to trust anyone. Not your partner, not your spouse, not even yourself. That's disconcerting. It's called a heady mix of sci-fi ideas, detailed artwork, and big action by Comic Book Club. I used to go to their live shows back in the day. That was a lot of fun. Rick and Morty versus the Universe, Beth Till Death by Daniel Kibblesmith and Jake Black with Susie Blake on the artwork chores. It's a focusing on Space Beth, so I'm a happy man. I love me some Space Beth. Page 373. The most recent series of most recent season, that is, just wrapped up of Rick and Morty, and I think it wrapped up very well. So do check that out. Also, we get ourselves the Cruel Universe continuing, second issue of 12 of that anthology series there, available on page 378. And yes, Biker Mike from Mars, continuing in the Macelliverse. Wow, I'm tripping on my words. Biker Mice from Mars, issue 4 in the Macelliverse on page 380 there as well. And a soft cover of Michael Conrad and Dave Chisholm's Plague House. Houses aren't the only thing that are haunted. Architect of Terror, Michael Conrad, launches a deep and disturbing excursion into 21st century horror with Plague House. Collects the first 4 issues of that spooky scariness there on page 382. And that is it with Oni. This looks cute. Mike Kunkel, writing and drawing Hero Bear and the Kid, local comic shop day special. Tyler discovers a special comic he's been searching for, unable to pay for it, instead creates his own comic about Hero Bear and trades it with the store owner, who is surprised to get it signed and delivered by the actual real-life Hero Bear. Well, that sounds absolutely adorable. Thank you, Paper Cuts. Page 387 for that, and then Hero Bear and the Kid Volume 1, The Inheritance, by Mike Kunkel himself, also there on page 389. All right. I will head over to tomorrow's at this point, unless I find anything in between, which I might, because I'm me, but let's see. Anything in 2000 AD worth talking about? Nah, let's roll on. Let's roll on. Can't keep doing that to myself. Fred Van Lente's The Future Is. Talk about that. The hacker wars are over. The digital Ronin era is here. Who are the heroes of tomorrow? Who is Black Mountain? Why are the first 7 issues affidavit returnable? Because they're awesome reads and you should stock up. So hey, why not? It's a 6-issue ongoing series. Okay, sure. Fred Van Lente and Mario D'Alessandro bring us The Future Is. This is the 5th issue of that, and it's available there on page 419. Also, right on top of that, Masters of British Comic Art. This is a Eisner nominee. David Roach, illustrated by the one and only Brian Bowen, Dave Gibbons, Kevin O'Neill, and others. This is revealing the extraordinary history of UK's prolific comic book industry from the 19th century to the 21st. All in one amazing edition here. This is the definitive celebration of a beloved industry, and that is, of course, UK comic books. Do check that out of Rebellion on page 419. I think you'll be very happy that you did. Scholastic, bringing it home like they always do. Always happy to see that they're still doing anything. I talked about Titan already, so I got to skip it. That's the way that works. All right. Are we still in Titan? We are. We're in Titan manga. Did I mention Saint Seiya Darkwing? Well, I'm not going to have a manga section, so might as well. By Masami Kuramaida and Kenji Saito. Shoichiro was just another high school student. Now he's one of the dreaded judges of the underworld, chosen to battle against the forces of Athena. When an unexpected ambush during a school trip sends him and his classmates into the land of the dead, they're thrust into a fierce struggle between the gods and their warriors. Sounds exciting. Saint Seiya Darkwing Volume 1, available here on page 512, and also back in the Titan's own book, I'm sure. But that is it with that. We have found our way to tomorrow's, and this includes previously solicited The World of Tomorrows by John Morrow himself and John B. Cook. Celebrating the 30th anniversary of Tomorrow's publishing, they are bringing a special retrospective look at the company that changed fandom forever. By publisher and Jack Kirby collector, editor John Morrow, and by John B. Cook. Gives a behind-the-scenes details from back issue magazines Michael Urey, Alter Ego's Roy Thomas, George Corey, author of Komodo, Extraordinary Works of Alan Moore, and other books, and a host of other Tomorrow contributors. This brings us the behind-the-scenes of Tomorrow's, as well as a foreword by Alex Ross himself and an afterword by Paul Levitz, with a new cover by Tom McWeeny. The World of Tomorrow's. Congratulations on 30 years of Tomorrow's, for that matter. That's on page 520 of the Lunar catalog. This month's back issue magazine is all monkeys, baby. This one's for you, Jamie. Featuring simian favorites including Grodd, Gorilla Man, King Kong, Angel and the Ape, and more monkey business with the work of Carmine Infantino, John Broome, Carrie Bass, Jerry Conway, Mark Waid, Steve Englehart, Sal Buscema, Phil Folio, Howard Chaykin, and others, with a great Gorilla Grodd cover by Art Adams himself. Back Issue Magazine number 163 has gone to the apes, and I am all for it. All right, that is it with Tomorrow's. And let's see if anything worth it in Udon. Not really. So guess what, folks? I am officially going to call it, and we successfully made it through a previews without previews, without Diamond, that is. And look, if you want to flip through Diamond's catalog, you still can. It's available directly on their website inside of an app. It's a lot harder for me to flip through it, but it is available in different forms. So if you do want to check that out, you can. Otherwise, we told you a whole bunch of great things that you could check out without even having to go to them. So, hey, I think that's worth it. Once again, thank you to Mr. Eberle for joining us. Really do appreciate the amount of time he was able to even give us. And with that, I'll go ahead and do some credits. And hey, I survived the previous catalog partially on my own. Pat on the head. Good job, Ian. Good job. Email address for Comic Timing is comictiming@gmail.com. You can find us over at facebook.com/comictiming. That's also where you can find the Facebook group for the Comic Timing fan group, that is. And we thank you very much for giving that a shot, as we have a nice thriving community over there, and we like talking to you, and that's a great place to do so. You can also find us over on Instagram. We are Comic Timing Podcast on Instagram. We're also on Threads at Comic Timing Podcast. Our Blue Sky is just straight up Comic Timing. And of course, our YouTube channel is at Comic Timing Podcast. We've gotten a couple more people at the YouTube channel than we've had in the past, and partially because of Raph's shorts that he's been doing, which are great, and they're now going to be coming out bi-weekly. So the Raph's comic catch-up stuff will be bi-weekly for now, as he's running a Dungeons & Dragons campaign. That's taking up a little bit more of his time, but you can check those out on the YouTube channel. Once again, at Comic Timing Podcast. So it's youtube.com/@Comic Timing Podcast. Do check that out. And that's about it for me. If you want to catch up with me, why not? I am sci-fi on Blue Sky, and I'm also I_am_sci-fi on Instagram. If you want to follow me there, you can go ahead and do so. Put up a bunch of my photos from Dublin and stuff like that over there. So once again, thank you to Mr. Eberle for joining us, and we'll be back next week for some Gold Team action. Can't wait for that. And of course, as always, there's always time for comics. It's over.